Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Today is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have the potential to win the World Series here tonight in Game 6, as they currently hold a 3-2 series lead over the Tampa Bay Rays. The home Dodgers will start Tony Gonsolin this evening as LA looks to win their first championship title since 1988. Blake Snell takes the mound for the Rays, who wish to force a Game 7 and potentially win their first title in franchise history tomorrow night. Game 6 features a rematch between Gonsolin and Snell as both pitched in Game 2, where the Rays evened the set at 1 game apiece with a big win. They're almost ready out at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, but as we wait, let's take a look at Tony Gonsolin's previous postseason performances. In 3 games, he is 0-2 with a 9.39 ERA, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, and a 1.70 WHIP. This is the man that the Dodgers have starting on the mound tonight, where they could potentially clinch the 2020 World Series. Game 6 will begin in just a few moments, guys. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. The Dodgers are back to being the home team for Game 6 and, if needed, Game 7 as well. Again, out in Globe Life Field at Arlington, Texas. Dodgers are soon to be your 2020 MLB champs. That's very well possible. It's going to be Blake Snell on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. Tony Gonsolin takes the bump for the home Dodgers as we get things going here in the top half of the first inning. And Gonsolin will face off against Ji-Man Choi, Randy Arozarena, and Austin Meadows. They will all come up in the top of the first to look and get the Rays on the board early. Of course, huge game. Lots on the line right here. It's win or go home for the Rays. They could potentially even this series at 3 games apiece, force a Game 7, and tomorrow the likely matchups would be Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler. Now, both have had a lot of success and dominance on the mound so far in the postseason. If we do get to a Game 7 tomorrow, I should be live at one point or another. Morton versus Buehler is going to be a phenomenal pitching matchup in the final game of the Fall Classic if we get that far. But first, Blake Snell, Tony Gonsolin. Gonsolin's going to take the mound here in the top of the first, and Ji-Man Choi is stepping into the batter's box. Game 6 will begin in just a few short seconds. Now, Choi is batting leadoff. He's the left-handed first baseman tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's followed up by Randy Arozarena, the right-handed left fielder, batting second. Austin Meadows, the DH, will bat third, and Brandon Lau slotted cleanup, starting at second base defensively. Manny Margot out in right field, batting fifth, followed up by Joey Wendell, the left-handed third baseman, batting sixth. Willie Adames at shortstop, batting seventh. Kevin Kiermaier in the 8-hole out in center field. And Mike Zunino behind the plate, batting ninth. The first pitch of the game is a fastball from Gonsolin up in the zone, which Choi fouls back for strike one. So here we go, Game 6, and potentially the last game of the 2020 Major League Baseball season is officially underway, and G-Man has struggled. He's hitting 143 in the World Series, 203 this October. He will wave and miss at a changeup at 85 miles per hour for strike 2. Choi with 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in this October, 1 for 7 in the World Series. Not a whole lot of success. Now, the Rays, key to this game here, if they want to win, they have to get to Gonsolin early on in Game 2, where he first pitched. He threw an inning and a third, giving up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 1 homer, as Ji-Man Choi strikes out swinging on 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. The first out here is retired. So Gonsolin again pitched in Game 2 for the Dodgers. An inning and a third, giving up 1 earned run, striking out 1 batter, walking 1, allowing 1 homer. Now, he didn't go too far into his first World Series appearance here of 2020. But LA wants to get some depth out of him, and he's going to throw an off-speed breaking ball down and away. Generous called strike 1 from the home plate umpire. Randy Arozarena gets behind in the count early. Now the rookie sensation is hitting .333 in the World Series and sends this one out to right field. Back to the wall, Mookie Betts. He runs out of room, and it's out of here. A solo home run for Randy Arozarena. That's his 10th home run of October baseball and 14th RBI. What did I say? The Rays, if they want to have success, have to score early? How about the second batter of the game? It's a solo shot for the rookie right-handed left fielder. So Gonsolin not only gives up his first hit, but his first run of the ballgame to the second batter he faces. So Randy comes around to score. He plates the first run of the game. And now that'll bring up the left-handed designated hitter Austin Meadows with nobody on and one out. Gonsolin resorts to a fastball on the outer third, fouled back for strike one. Now that is actually going to go to my next point here. If the Rays do want to go ahead and lock down a Game 6 win, they have to have someone break out here in this game. Randy Arozarena can be their guy, but they're going to need to rely on other bats. One guy cannot do all of the hitting here in Game 6. As Austin Meadows loops one into right field, that's going to be a one-out single. So back-to-back hits from Tampa Bay's 2 and 3 batters. Brandon Lowe will step in with a runner on first. Let's look back at that Randy Arozarena homer. I mean, just beautiful. He takes it the other way. Line drive homer. It wasn't necessarily a no-doubter, but it had enough to put the Rays on the board and give them a one-run lead. So here's Brandon Lowe batting cleanup, starting at second base defensively for Tampa Bay. He will wave and miss through a fastball up and away at 96 miles per hour. That is strike one. Let's look at Tony Gonsolin's pitching arsenal. He has a 4-pitch mix, a 4-seam fastball, changeup, slider, and curveball. Now that slider curve mix, both pitches used just around 15% of the time. His primary is his 4-seam fastball. Rather, that's Blake Snell. 1 second here. Tony Gonsolin, a 4-seam fastball, split finger, slider, and curveball. That's a little bit better. I was going to say something looked off there. Gonsolin, 4-pitch mix, 4-seam fastball at 47.5% of the time. He goes to that split finger, just under 30%. 17% usage of the slider, and the curveball dropping in at just about 6%. Very rare. He likes to go down and away with the curveball. So he's got that 4-pitch mix. He will heavily rely on the 4-seam fastball, which hits just around 95 miles per hour. The slider at 88 on average. Split finger comes in at 85.1. And the curveball, his slowest pitch in the mix at 81.7 miles per hour on average delivery to the plate. Hello to everyone in the chat and in the stream. Thank you for joining me here tonight for Game 6. Randy is so incredibly good, gotten the Rays out to an early lead. The rookie just continues to add to his huge stat line. Very impressive numbers this postseason. His average now well above 370. With 10 home runs and 14 RBIs in 74 at-bats. Hello again to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us here in Game 6. Brandon Lowe has worked the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Austin Meadows leads off at first, and there is one away. Gonsolin has retired 1 batter through 11 pitches, and this one is going to miss downstairs. The count goes full. So the Rays already getting the possibility to have a very early lead and really capitalize here with a runner on first and 1 away. Brandon Lowe threatening to get aboard, whether it's via ball 4 or a base hit. He'll wait to see if Gonsolin throws a mistake pitch late into this count, and it's fouled back yet again. The fastball up and in. We remain full. 13 pitches for Tony, who only survived 1 1/3 innings back in Game 2 when he started for the Dodgers. Now, he could potentially have a similar stat line. He's already given up 2 hits here, but in Game 2 he had an inning and a third of work with 1 earned run, giving up 1 home run. There is quite a shift on the second baseman up in the box right now as he will draw ball 4. This one gets away from Austin Barnes, but Meadows will only advance to second because of the force, allowing Brandon Lowe to get to first via the walk. So 2 men on now. Can the Rays have hot hitting tonight to back up Snell? Well, they are out to an early lead. 2 hits, 3 base runners through their first 4 hitters of the game. So they're definitely threatening to get something going early on here. As you guys can see via the scoreboard, it's a 1-0 game in the away half of the first frame, and Manny Margot will step in. He's slotted 5th in the lineup tonight, batting .290 through 54 at-bats in October with 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a .959 OPS. Gonsolin will throw pitch number 15 here to the number 5 batter with a runner in scoring position and 2 men on base. The first pitch to Manny Margot, who's hitting .400 in the World Series, is a fastball up, spoiled away for strike 1. 6 for 15 in the World Series with no home runs and no RBIs for the right-handed right fielder. And he has the potential to change at least one of those categories. With a runner on second, he can bring in his first RBI if he does indeed lace a single to the outfield. He will check his swing but go around for strike number 2. And Gonsolin is trying to work a double play ball here or just get the strikeout. He has to at least last through the first inning of work. In an 0-2 count, let's see what Gonsolin goes to here. Barnes is setting up down and in. Tony misses up and away, and the home plate umpire does not think it reaches, so that's going to be ball number 1. Very good take from Manny Margot, as we already have Wood warming up in the bullpen for LA. The lefty reliever can come in as soon as this inning, as Gonsolin has surpassed the 3-batter minimum. But I would think they try to get at least 1 completed inning out of the 6'3" right-handed pitcher. Margot will spoil back another one here, so the count remains 1-2. Gonsolin again a 9.39 ERA entering this start, and he has not yet gotten a postseason win in the 2020 season. In the 2020 regular season, he pitched in 9 games, 2 wins, 2 losses, posting a 2.31 ERA, striking out 46 batters in 46 2/3 innings of work, and a .84 whip. The 1-2 count to Manny Margot. Barnes is setting up down, and Gonsolin will miss down, but well in the dirt. The count is even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the right-handed right fielder. Joey Wendle is on deck. Austin Meadows leading off second base. Brandon Lowe on first. He worked a walk in the most recent at-bat, leading up to Manny Margot's first plate appearance of the game here in the top of the first. Los Angeles leads the series at 3-2, and Margot will pop this one up into right field. Mookie Betts camps underneath of it, and Meadows will remain at second. So a fly out to right is good for the second out of the inning and second out of the game. With 2 away, Joey Wendle will go ahead and see if he can work some magic. He's hitting just 200 through 55 postseason at-bats, with no home runs, 5 runs batted in, 1 stolen base, and a .486 on base plus slugging. Gonsolin's done significantly worse in the postseason atmosphere. He only gave up 12 earned runs in 46 2/3 innings in regular season play. With 2 away, Joey Wendell steps in. The Rays, as I mentioned, they need to rely on someone other than just Randy Arozarena to have big hits. Austin Meadows worked a single, Brandon Lowe with the walk, but now the Rays have to get something going here as they head to the middle and bottom portions of their lineup. Joey Wendell slotted 6th tonight. Jumps ahead in the count 1-0. Gonsolin will set up for a pitch outside. He misses down, but Wendell will wave and miss strike 1 anyway. In the World Series, Joey is 2 for 15 with 3 RBIs. Each and every one of those runs batted in came in the second game of this Fall Classic, in which Lau had 2 home runs, 3 ribbies. Wendell had a big night with 3 RBIs. And that right there would be enough to edge out over the Dodgers and get a Game 2 win, evening out the set. Now Wendell fouls this one back. The count goes 1-2, and Gonsolin, who's already thrown 23 pitches, allowing 3 base runners and 1 earned run, can potentially get out of this, leaving men on first and second. 1-2 count to the left-handed Joey Wendell, who's hitting .133 in the World Series. Very little success here in the first 5 games of the set, and Gonsolin will step off. Willy Adames, who has struggled to get a hit in the postseason and in the World Series, will be up on deck if Wendell does indeed get on. Arozarena with the big solo home run, the second at-bat of the ball game. Meadows followed it up with a single. He stands on second. Brandon Lowe worked a walk. He's on first. There are 2 outs. Wendell's behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we'll see if Gonsolin can escape the top half of the first. The 1-2 payoff pitch to Tampa's third baseman. Swing, and it's a foul tip. I thought he missed it right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll try it yet again now to Joey Wendell. Waiting to see if he can get something going against Gonsolin in this later half of the at-bat. He fouled that right off his legs, as I'm seeing via the replay. We'll get back into the box here. Again, the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 24 pitches for Tony Gonsolin. Tampa Bay Rays have already added a run to the scoreboard in the opening frame. Can they do some more damage and jump ahead even more? 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Tony Gonsolin. He gets out of it, only giving up 1 run. 2 hits, 1 run, 2 men left on base for the Tampa Bay Rays. Not as much damage as that could have been right there for Tony Gonsolin, but we're going to head to the home half of the first. The Dodgers find themselves with an early deficit here in Game 6. Dodgers just need this win. If they wouldn't have messed up in Game 4, it should have been over already. I mean, things happen. This is going to be a fun series, no matter what. It's gotten to at least Game 6. I would love a Game 7. My initial postseason predictions had the Dodgers winning in 7 games. However, I'd rather see Los Angeles win, so if they can just end it tonight, let's get it over with, maybe. Secure that first World Series title since the 1988 season. Now, the Rays were established in 1998 and have never won a World Series trophy. So this would be the first in franchise history for them. They lost to the Phillies in their only World Series berth prior to this year in 2008. So this is Tampa Bay's second time in the Fall Classic. They're looking to win it for the first time Kershaw really deserves a ring, especially after the pitching he did this postseason. I would agree with you 100%. I mean, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer nonetheless. He's had his ups and downs in postseason play, but this year he looked very good. At least in his 2 World Series appearances, he helped the Dodgers win 2 very crucial games. Blake Snell will take the mound for the Rays here, starting the bottom of the first. He's pitched in 5 postseason games till this point, winning 2, losing 2, and posting an ERA of 3.33. He struck out 28 batters in 24 and a third innings of work, and owns a 1.32 whip going into the home half of the first. He pitched in Game 2 of the Fall Classic. He took a no-hitter into the later end of the 4th inning, going 4 2/3 deep, giving up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, and 1 home run. The first batter Blake will face off against is Mookie Betts, who has struggled a little bit these past few games of the World Series, but when he's hot in these games, and when he's hot, the Dodgers win. He has an average well above 350 in LA postseason victories, and when the Dodgers lose, Mookie Betts is hitting for a combined .053. So if Betts can get off to a hot start here, that might be a good sign for the Dodgers as he takes ball 1 south of the zone and jumps ahead against Blake Snell. Now Blake's pitch mix is a changeup, curveball, 4-seamer, and slider. He'll go to that 4-seam fastball just more than half the time at 50.6% as Betts fouls this one back. Count goes even. So 50.6% usage on the 4-seamer. His secondary pitch is the changeup. He uses just around 20% of the time. His primary breaking ball is a slider, and then he'll double it up with a curveball. And his fastball goes just around 95 miles per hour on average. The 1-1 count to Mookie Betts. He'll miss with that fastball at 95. North of the zone, it's 2-1. So the 4-seamer comes in at 95 miles an hour. The changeup, 88. Slider comes in at 87.4. And the curveball at 80. There is a slider down and in against Mookie Betts. He will offer and miss, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the Dodgers leadoff batter. Betts, Seager, and Turner all due up in the bottom of the first here. Count is even 2-2. Blake Snell looking to retire, the first batter of the ball game on the mound tonight for the Rays, and he will swing and a miss, strike 3. Great changeup right there. Betts goes down, swing the bat. So strikeout number 1 for the southpaw Blake Snell. That is his 36th career postseason strikeout. And it comes in a big way. It's the first out here in the bottom of the first in Game 6. Now, if Blake Snell can match his Game 2 start, again, 4 2/3 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, striking out 9 batters, I'd say the Rays are set up for some great potential success. Their bullpen should be well rested, especially with the off day that came last night in between Games 5 and 6, as Seager sees strike 1. A lefty-lefty matchup here. Seager will wave and miss at a curveball down in the zone. The shortstop goes down 0-2. He's hitting .344 this October with 8 home runs and 19 RBIs. Followed up with 2 stolen bases and a 1.215 OPS through 64 at-bats. He's having a great postseason run. He will wave and miss at a fastball at 97 up in the zone. Back-to-back strikeouts now for the 6'4" southpaw. Seager definitely set up for one of the front runners when it comes to the World Series MVP award if the Dodgers do go ahead and win their first title since the 1988 season. I think it's going to be a battle between Seager and Turner. Throw Max Muncy in the mix, and one of those three players should go ahead and win the MVP nods. If the Rays go ahead and win the series, well, I mean, I think you would have to give the title to Randy Arozarena if it is going to go to an offensive player, as Turner sees a curveball in for strike one. What two teams would I love to see in the World Series? Yours would be a 2000 World Series rematch between the Mets and Yankees. Okay. As well as a Florida matchup, Rays versus Marlins. I would like to go ahead and see a Subway Series. Like you said, I think Yankees and Mets would be a whole lot of fun. And, just the Mets have not had really a postseason berth in quite a few years, with Steve Cohen potentially coming in as their new owner. This free agency can look very good for them, very bright. A lot of great guys on the market: Trevor Bauer, JT Realmuto, George Springer, just to name a few. Marcus Semien, Jackie Bradley Jr., the list goes on and on. But the Mets could go ahead, pick up some big pieces this winter, and be a postseason contending team as soon as 2021. Not necessarily saying next year it would be Yankees Mets, but I think that'd be fun. Somewhere in the near future, as Justin Turner will wave and miss at a 1-2 count. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts for Blake Snell. No hits, no runs, no men left on base for the Dodgers. We go to the top of the second. So a very quick inning on behalf of Blake Snell. I mean, that's what you want to see from the Rays' best starting pitcher, seemingly, so far this postseason. If he can help allow and aid Tampa Bay to get to a Game 7, assuming the lineup and the offense does their job, it will be Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler tomorrow night in a deciding factor. It'll be a best of one if we do get to Game 7. Who will win the most important game of the year and take home the World Series trophy? Blake Snell just looked very good in that first frame. And with 2 outs, the Dodgers have been a very successful team. And I believe it said they scored 59 runs with 2 men retired, which is ridiculous. Justin Turner has 2 solo home runs with 2 outs in the first inning alone. This World Series in back-to-back games, I believe. Games, I want to say 3 and 4 or 2 and 3, something like that. Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, and Justin Turner went down almost easily against Tampa Bay's left-handed starter. See if he can get them far into the game. Hayden, he's, I don't know if he's throwing it out there as a jinx or not, but I'm not going to say the words. If it gets later on into the game and the Dodgers just aren't doing well, maybe I'll go ahead and put it out there, but I don't want to jinx it quite yet. Early on. We go to the top of the second. Willy Adames, Kevin Kiermaier, and Mike Zunino will all come up to the plate for their first plate appearances. Adames leading things off, batting .145 this October. He struggled a lot here in postseason play. And we mentioned that Randy cannot be the only guy to swing the bat well and to plate runs or tally runs batted in. There has to be production from a handful of different players, not just the man slotted second, who has had a very good rookie performance in this 10th month of the year. We go to the top of the second, see if Tony Gonsolin is still in to pitch or if he has been taken out of the game. In his first World Series start, he went an inning and a third. He comes back out here and misses with a fastball upstairs for ball 1. So Adames has jumped ahead in the count. He's 3 for 17 in the World Series. That's a 176 average with 1 run batted in. But overall, batting 145 with 4 RBIs and 1 stolen base. His OPS sits at 537, and that's in 55 at-bats. The count goes 2-0 to the away team shortstop. A big offer and miss at a fastball outside from Adames puts the count at 2-1. And if we look at the Rays lineup, this is something that Kevin Cash is very good at. He's good at platooning his players. He will go to the bullpen once a reliever has gone just the minimum 3 batters faced. If it does help his team and benefit them in the matchups. Now, Ji-Man Choi, Randy Rosarena, Austin Meadows, Brandon Lau, Manny Margot, Joey Wendell, Willy Adames, Kevin Kiermaier, and Mike Zunino. If you look at that, batters are alternating left-handed, right-handed all throughout from top to bottom. It's consistent. Left, right, left, and so on and so forth. Cash does not want to allow Dave Roberts any opportunities to have the upper hand with any batter up at any given time. And Willy Adames starts off the count 2-0, but then goes down looking for called strike 3. That's Gonsolin's 3rd strikeout of the game. And he has already matched his inning and 1/3 length from game 2. The first pitch now to the left-handed center fielder of Kevin Kiermaier. And he'll take a ball downstairs. So he's ahead in the count. Top of the second, 1 out, 1-0 count. The Rays lead 1-0 here in the also important Game 6 of the 2020 World Series. Gonsolin goes back to that same pitch, same spot. It's 2-0. Kiermaier has had some mild success in the postseason, but in the World Series especially. 6 for 16 with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. That's good for a .375 batting average. In the postseason as a whole, 52 at-bats, a .250 average with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a .778 OPS. He fouls this one back. The count is now 2-1. Adames struck out looking. Kevin Kiermaier up in the box now, and Mike Zunino in the on-deck circle awaiting his first at-bat. Again, the Dodgers obviously want to clinch here and win it in just 6 games, but Kiermaier gets a hold of this one. Mookie Betts will not be able to make the play. It bounces off the wall, and Kevin dives into second head first. It's a 1-out extra base hit, and the Rays have their 4th base runner of the ball game on their 3rd hit of the game. A 1-out double puts a runner in scoring position for the Rays in the bottom of the lineup here. We'll go to Mike Zunino. If Kiermaier had a solid bat, maybe around .260 average, he'd be a top 20 player in MLB. Agree or disagree? Well, I'm actually going to go ahead. Before I answer that, just really look at some of his numbers in depth here. Pull them up. So Kevin Kiermaier, we'll look at the 2020 season. Look at his career stats. I definitely think he is a top outfielder just overall. In the regular season, he hit .217, so a bit of a down year. 3 home runs, 22 RBIs, 8 stolen bases. Let's look at his regular season stats as Zunino takes one down and away for ball 1. So he is a career .248 hitter. Not so great there. But he has 71 home runs, 257 RBIs. His slugging really hasn't exceeded 400 since 2017. His on-base has been very low throughout his entire career. So yeah, definitely he lacks a little bit with the bat to be a top 20 player in Major League Baseball. I'd say top 20 outfielder, but he's got good speed. He's got good defense. He does well on outside pitches in the zone. Doesn't hit the ball up and away all too much. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kiermaier is necessarily a top 20 in Major League Baseball overall, but I do think he could be a top hitter at any given point. Production-wise in the World Series, he's been huge for the Rays. But I think it's a little premature to say he's gonna be one of the better 20 players in the game, at least at the moment. He's had a good career. Just the average struggles here and there, on base slugging, not necessarily crazy high either, and Zunino will go 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kiermaier is a career .216 batter in the postseason, with 4 homers, 10 RBIs, 3 homers, 7 RBIs coming in this year alone. Of course, Kevin debuted back in 2013 with the Rays, and he is the longest active tenured player with the organization. The count goes full as Gonsolin misses outside. 3-2 with Zunino. And Ji-Man Choi due up next for his second at-bat of the game. Mike is hitless this World Series. 0 for 13. He's got a big goose egg. Looking to find himself in the hit column. See if he can get one here against the right-handed Tony Gonsolin. The Dodgers starting pitcher is just 26 years old, and Zunino will spoil this one back. We'll try it again. So the 26-year-old is 6'3" tall, 205 pounds. 0-2 this postseason in 3 games, with an ERA north of 9.4 in 7 2/3 innings of work, 9 strikeouts, and a 1.7 WHIP. LA has not had a lot of depth when it comes to starting pitching this year. They've primarily had Kershaw, Buehler, and Urias. But other than that, we have seen a Tony Gonsolin type almost as an opener, as it's a swinging bunt, but the ball is foul for Zunino. Again, we try it with the count full. Kevin Kiermaier on second with 1 out. Zunino well out in front of that baseball. Austin Barnes quickly jumps to his feet to try to make the play, but it's not in fair territory, so he grabs it and sends it back to the dugout, gets a new ball for the Dodgers' right-handed starting pitcher. Going on pitch number 8 of the at-bat, Tony Gonsolin against Mike Zunino. Who's going to win the battle here? The full count payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Mike Zunino is a little early on the off-speed, down and away. Second strikeout of the inning, 4th of the game for Gonsolin. Back in his Game 2 start, he only had 1 strikeout, giving up 1 home run, 1 walk, 1 earned run, and 1 hit. In steps Ji-Man Choi, who's 1 for 8 in the World Series. He struck out last inning. The Dodgers should have their name changed to the Los Angeles Chokers. Well, they have won 3 pennants in the past 4 seasons. Of course, they lost the World Series in 2017 and 2018, but this year they made a solid push. They lead the series at the moment. They currently trail by 1 run here in Game 6, but the first World Series title since 1988 is just out of reach. They can feel it. So close yet so far. The Rays trying to disrupt this team however they can and keep the season alive. Swing and a miss. Ji-Man Choi cannot catch up to the high heat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dylan Floro warming up in the Dodgers bullpen, so Wood is no longer active, as he was back in the opening frame of this ball game. So Choi's got a 1-1 count, a runner in scoring position. The Rays have struck first, looking to add to their 1-run total. Gonsolin goes down and in. That'll miss south of the strike zone. 2-1 now to Choi. He's batting leadoff and starting at first base for the Rays, though he has not had much postseason success. Randy Arozarena is on deck, and if you're Tony Gonsolin, you want to get out of this inning right here and not allow the right-handed left fielder another at-bat, at least with runners on base. He can clear the traffic very easily with one swing of the bat, as we saw back in the opening frame of the game. And Choi will foul back a fastball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Who is the worst team in baseball this season? Obviously, I mean, if you look at the standings, the Tigers were down there. The Pittsburgh Pirates, I think, finished the year with the worst record. But I will double check that, like win-loss wise. But Pirates, Tigers, Red Sox, Mariners, Diamondbacks, they all struggled quite a bit. Red Sox are 24-36, Tigers 23-25, Rangers 22-38. Actually, the Mariners finished third in the division, 27-33. They didn't even do that bad. So the worst team was the Pittsburgh Pirates, only winning 19 of the 60 games. The count is 2-2 to Ji-Man Choi, and he will think about it, but hold up his swing. It's full. The Royals did show some flurry of activity here in the 2020 season. Of course, they're in the midst of a rebuild, so not going too far quite yet, but they're working towards it. And the count has gone full to the left-handed first baseman. Gonsolin wants to escape the inning. He's thrown 47 pitches. And this one will miss down and in for ball 4. Gonsolin cannot finish off the at-bat. So Randy Arozarena comes in with runners on first and second, and it looks like that will end Gonsolin's night on the mound. The Dodgers pitching coach points out to the bullpen, and it seems like we'll go to commercial break here. Dylan Floro coming in for LA in the top of the second inning. Which team is going to finish last in the NL and AL in 2021? Well, I'm going to tell you, if the Pittsburgh Pirates do anything remotely similar in 100 games more in 2021, they will not have a great deal of success next season. I think they will probably be one of the worst teams in the National League, if not the worst. And the American League, I don't know if this year was kind of like a jinx for the Orioles or not, because they did show some life. They do have the potential to lose Jose Iglesias to free agency, and he did really well at the plate. He hit for good average in the 2020 season. I wouldn't say the Orioles are going to be a bad team, but the Rangers are definitely going to be down there in the American League. I don't think they'll have a lot of success. The Red Sox, unless they make some big moves, have the potential to lose one of their better defensive players in Jackie Bradley Jr. to free agency. So there's a few teams that are at risk of being the worst, on paper going into next year. Free agency is really going to help mold some of these lower end teams, though, these low tier squads like the Red Sox and the Rangers. If you look at what they did in 2020, not a lot of success. Now, 1 or 2 signings probably won't help either of those teams much. but maybe it'll get them out of 5th in the division. So here we go. We are going to remain in the top half of the 2nd inning. Tony Gonsolin has come out of the ball game after allowing 1 earned run to the Rays. Now, he is responsible for both Kevin Kiermaier and Ji-Man Choi, who are at 2nd base and 1st base, respectively. I think people shouldn't compare the 2020 season to next year. More games, 60 to 162. Players increase and decrease over time, injuries, etc. Yeah, of course. I mean, very small sample size this year when it comes to the regular season. Obviously, it was abbreviated because of COVID and started in the later end of July, rather late March. So it's hard to tell and hard to compare teams and players specifically, but I do think for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are a very young team, still developing, still trying to go ahead and bring up some of their rookies. The Pirates, I think, are going to be, no matter what the season looks like, a lower-end team, a low-tier team in the National League. I think the same goes for the Red Sox. I mean, this was a really down year for them. They traded Mookie Betts and David Price. They did not get a lot of production out of their big bats. I think Martinez struggled at the plate this year. Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers, those are their main guys now. And if they're struggling, Bogarts is good, but they cannot have one bat that they rely on for the entire game. And Randy Arozarena in now for his 2nd at-bat. He's down 0-2. The right-handed Dylan Floro has jumped ahead early on, looks to end the inning. Top of the 2nd, 2 outs, 0-2 count. 2 runners on base, and swing and a miss, strike 3. Randy Arozarena cannot catch up to that one. That will end the inning in a big way. Dylan Floro ends the top of the 2nd, and any thoughts of success for the Rays. We go to the home half of inning number 2, and the Dodgers look to go ahead and tie this one up. So there we go. Bottom of the 2nd now will be underway in just a few moments. Yeah, Dylan Floro came in, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Randy Arozarena down on a strikeout, which is huge right there because one swing of the bat could have made it a 4-0 ball game. And at that point, with the way Blake Snell was rolling in the first, it did not look like the Dodgers would be able to come back. So we'll see how things go. Blake Snell, if you guys are just joining me here, missed the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, Justin Turner all struck out swinging. Walter, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Trevor, thank you. Bottom of the 2nd is just around the corner. Max Muncy, Will Smith, and Cody Bellinger will all come up. It'll be each of their first plate appearances of the ball game. Should the Red Sox sign Springer? Well, there has been a flurry of news saying that George Springer does not want to return to Houston. Surprise, surprise. And I think if Boston misses out on Jackie Bradley Jr., if he goes to a team that really needs a defensive guy in the outfield running around in center, then I think Boston would be smart to go ahead and pick up George. But at the end of the day, I think Springer is a guy who has been one of the better overall players for the Astros in 2020, offensively and defensively. He brings a great deal to the table. I don't think he's going to go to a Boston Red Sox organization who does not have the team set up for success in the near future. I think Springer is going to want to go to a competitive team, a team that he can help make a positive difference with, and maybe help bring them one step further and one step closer to a World Series. So I don't think the Red Sox would necessarily be the front runner for him. And JBJ is also, I believe, going to be a free agent. So we'll see how things go. I think the Red Sox have a better chance at re-signing Bradley than they do bringing in George Springer here for 2021. So I'm just checking here. I do believe JBJ is going to be a free agent. Um, yeah, so he will go ahead and for the first time hit the free agent market in a matter of a week because really players cannot sign until at least 5 days after the World Series comes to an end. The last game, whether the series ends tonight or tomorrow, will be within this next 27, 28 hours, which is insane. The 2020 Major League Baseball year has come to an end just about. In steps Max Muncy, a lefty-lefty matchup, but the Dodgers' first baseman is batting .389 in the World Series, and he takes strike one. The count goes even now here in the bottom of the second to the leadoff batter. What big free agents are available? Well, I mean, the header, at least for the rotation, is Trevor Bauer, coming off of what should be a National League Cy Young Awards season. He's going to make a big splash, and I think he will go to a very big team looking to spend some money and a contender. Personally, I like him going out to San Diego, and I would love him to come over to the New York Yankees and wear pinstripes for 2021, but I just don't know if that's going to be possible money-wise. But I do think the odds are very high that he goes to a team that was in this postseason, if not just missed out. A lot of good suitors for Bauer. And Max Muncy will roll a swinging bunt back to the pitcher. Blake Snell makes a really good play. 1-3 ground out, and the leadoff batter is retired. So Trevor Bauer is going to go ahead and be a free agent. JT Realmuto will hit free agency within the next few days. Jackie Bradley Jr., George Springer, Marcus Semien. The list goes on and on. I can bring up that full list once we get to commercial break here. I believe McCann hits free agency. James McCann, the backstop, will go ahead and be available. So Jose Iglesias is another name. Didi Gregorius. I mean, there is some very good talent and some players that are going to be highly sought after for both their offensive and defensive capabilities. And now Will Smith steps in with a 143 World Series batting average and a 197 postseason batting average. He'll jump ahead 1-0 as the Dodgers are behind 1-0. Who takes shortstop for the Mets, Rosario or Jimenez? So we did see Andres Jimenez make his debut this year. I don't know how well he did defensively, if I'm being honest. I only watched a small handful of Mets games this year because it was such a condensed season. Most of the time, if the Yankees Mets are playing, I'd go to my favorite team and resort to watching a Yankee game. So I don't know how Andres did fielding-wise, but Rosario has definitely struggled in that field, quite literally. So offensively, I know Andres did have a nice little bat to him as a rookie. So I think it will kind of be up to spring training, how the first few games of the season goes. The role is definitely going to be up for interpretation. It can go to either one of the two players, but just because I did not really watch a whole lot of the Mets, Hayden, I can't answer that. I just don't know how Rosario and Jimenez compared defensively. Will Yasiel Puig be signed? I mean, he is available. Whether or not a team goes after him and makes an offer is the question, but he was supposed to sign with the Braves this year, and he tested positive for COVID, so that whole contract fell through. I believe it was on a one-year deal. But Yasiel Puig will definitely be available. He's a big personality. He can offer a nice bat to any lineup. Now, if he is going to be used as a designated hitter, he'll have to sign with the American League. But I think there are better guys for that role. If he is finding a new home, he will be a starting outfielder. Will Smith gets rung up. He will swing and miss for strike 3, and Blake Snell is cruising. 5 up, 5 down, 4 strikeouts. Third inning and 2/3. Dodgers taking the dub? I hope so. So this game can be viewed on Fox, on cable television. Also, if you sign into the Fox app and log in with your cable provider, you can watch the game on any mobile device. Cody Bellinger, 3 for 19 in the World Series. He struggled a little bit. Definitely needs to pick up the pace here. Very crucial game for the Dodgers. Obviously, a Game 7 is welcomed by baseball fans, but if you're LA, you do not want to lose a Game 7 and miss yet another potential World Series win, as Bellinger will swing and miss strike 3. Make it 5 strikeouts through 6 men retired for Blake Snell. No hits, no runs, no men on base to be left on base. So we go to the top of the third. And it'll be Austin Meadows, Brandon Lowe, Manny Margot all due up. The Rays still want to go ahead and add on to that 1-run lead. So again, it's going to be Meadows, Lowe, and Margot. Austin Meadows batting third as the designated hitter tonight for Tampa Bay. He singled and made it to second before being stranded in scoring position back in the first. Brandon Lowe is 0 for 0. He worked a walk in the opening frame, and Manny Margot flew out to right field his first time around. So let's see if any of them can add on to their nights. I'm also very excited for free agency, Hayden. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of speculations, big name players, big name teams. I think the San Diego Padres are just going to be one of the many organizations to make some big moves and dip into the free agent market. San Diego lost out to Los Angeles, of course, in the 2020 postseason, but they picked up a big piece at the trade deadline in Mike Clevenger. They also made some minor roster moves and other trades before the August 31st deadline. To expect here in this upcoming free agency. Bauer is going to be a huge signing. JT Realmuto, we'll see where he goes. Didi Gregorius is interesting because I think something that people really aren't bringing up too much is that Realmuto and Gregorius are both hitting free agency. And the Phillies did a little something here in 2020. Didn't necessarily clinch a postseason berth, but they went ahead and finished the year 28-32. They were 7 games back, and the Braves are first in the division. A negative 22 run differential. Negative 5 run differential for the Philadelphia baseball organization. But if they lose both Gregorius and Realmuto, it'll be interesting to see how they adjust heading into the 2021 season. Alex Wood comes in now, and he starts the third inning. So Dylan Floro came in for just that one at-bat where he struck out Randy Rosarena. And you ask, well, isn't that 3-batter minimum rule enforced for the season? Yes, it is. But an exception to the rule is that if a pitcher finishes out an inning, as Floro did, he faced one batter, struck him out, and that was out number 3, he is allowed to have that be good for the end of his night. So Floro faced one batter, but because it was good for the final out of the top of the second, Alex Wood was able to place him here in the away half of the third. Now Meadows down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and he will wave and miss at a pitch down and away. So Wood comes up and strikes out the first batter he sees on strike 3. Let's take a look at the left-handed reliever's numbers here in the 2020 postseason. Alex Wood, he sports number 57 on the back of his jersey. 6'4", 255 pounds. 215 pounds, not 55. 215 pounds and is 29 years old. Wood has a 1.93 postseason ERA throughout 3 games here in the 2020 October play. That's in 4 2/3 innings of work with 5 strikeouts and a 1.71 whip. He moves over to his left and makes a great play. The throw over to first base is in time to retire Brandon Lowe, so 2 up, 2 down for Wood. That's a 1-3 ground out. Now Manny Margot steps in. In 2020, the left-handed pitcher was 0-1 through 2 games. 2 games started, 9 game appearances, and a 6.39 ERA in that 9 game span. That's throughout 12 2/3 innings, racking up 15 strikeouts and a 1.82 whip. So he definitely struggled a little bit, especially with a high ERA. First pitch he throws is a fastball down and in, just misses the corner for ball 1. Now, Alex signed with the Dodgers in free agency on January 15th of this year. So Kevin Cash is, of course, the Rays manager's had a lot of success over the past, I think, 6 seasons he's been with the team. But more recently, of course, 2019, 2020, he's grown a lot and has shown that he can maneuver this Rays roster to have a lot of success, obviously, as they've made it all the way this far. They are the American League World Series representatives. And we will see Manny Margot line out to center field. Bellinger's there to make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Alex Wood has a flawless inning. No hits, no runs, no men left on base. Here in the top of the 3rd. For Los Angeles, Chris Taylor, A.J. Pollock, and Austin Barnes, 3 right-handed batters to face the southpaw and former Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell. Kevin Cash, AL Manager of the Year, I would most definitely say so. If I had the vote, I would give it to Cash 10 times out of 10. I mean, let alone his success with the team he has. You know, of course, he took his team all the way to the postseason, made it to the World Series, but not just that. You look at the starting lineup here in Game 6, a make-or-break situation for the Rays. This is who they have. Ji-Man Choi, Randy Arozarena, Austin Meadows, Brandon Lowe, Manny Margot, Joey Wendell, Willy Adames, Kevin Kiermaier, Mike Zunino. I mean, none of those names necessarily pop as big superstar guys. But you look at the numbers a little more in depth and the statistics, and these guys have really outperformed their names. Underrated players. I mean, Randy Arozarena is the exact picture of that statement. He was a rookie this year. He had a little bit of time with the St. Louis Cardinals. The Rays traded for him, and out of nowhere, he's just casually hitting .370. He shattered multiple postseason records, including home runs by a single player in one given postseason, hits by one single player in a postseason, hits by a rookie in a postseason. I mean, each and every thing that Randy Arozarena has done here in October play has been incredible. I mean, offensively, more than, out in left fields. But Arozarena is a sight to see. He won the American League Championship Most Valuable Player title. If the Rays go on to win this World Series, I'm sure if the MVP nod goes to an offensive player, Randy Arozarena will get it here yet again. So here we go. Chris Taylor, A.J. Pollock, Austin Barnes all due up. Now, Blake Snell is cruising through LA's lineup tonight. 5 batters gone down on strike 3 through 2 innings of work. Immaculate stuff. Chris Taylor has hit 200 this October in 55 at-bats with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and a 594 OPS. So he's struggling quite a bit, slotting 7th in the lineup here. Batting 200 in the World Series, 200 in the postseason. He's 4 for 20 in the Fall Classic with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Snell falls behind 1-0, but Taylor will lace this one through the left side of the infield. Randy Arozarena will come up with the ball and make the throw in. First in the ball game comes to Chris Taylor. Maybe not necessarily the guy you were expecting. As I just mentioned, his numbers were a little bit low. But he gets aboard via a leadoff single. The Dodgers have their first hit, their first base runner, and could potentially get the ball rolling here as A.J. Pollock steps in. A.J. Pollock has had very few starts here in the World Series. 39 postseason at-bats, hitting .231. No home runs, 2 runs batted in, 1 stolen base, and a .568 OPS. He's just 1 for 4 in the Fall Classic with a double and a walk. Pollock batting 8th, starting in left field. And we'll see strike 1. Generous call by the home plate umpire on the outer third of the plate. Let's take a look at Tampa Bay Rays and their defense starting here in Game 6. From left to right in the outfield of Randy Arozarena, Kevin Kiermaier, and Manny Margot. Backing up Snell in the infield is Ji-Man Choi at first, Brandon Lowe at second, Joey Wendell at third, and Willy Adames at short. As Blake Snell looks over to first, Chris Taylor back in time, and he's safe. Of course, the Bays battery is the left-handed Blake Snell starting on the mound, Mike Zunino behind the plate, and Austin Meadows, the designated hitter. We are at a neutral site because of the postseason bubble. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas has hosted each of the first 6 games of the World Series, as well as National League Championship Series games. A.J. Pollock fouls this one back. The count's 0-2. So Chris Taylor leads off of first. Austin Barnes is on deck. A.J. Pollock up right now, looking to make a difference, whether it's just one base hit at a time or maybe driving one out and giving the Dodgers a lead. However, all Los Angeles has to do here is get small base hits and return to the top of the order. If they can do that and bring up a Mookie Betts and a Corey Seager here in the bottom of the third, they do have the opportunity to at least even this game up at 1 run apiece. Again, Pollock hitting .250 in the World Series. There is a shift in the infield. Joey Wendell, Willy Adames, and Brandon Lowe all on the left side of the diamond. Lowe more of right behind second base. But either way, Ji-Man Choi the only defender on the right side of the baseball diamond. 0-2 count. Pollock spoils it back. Fastball 97 miles per hour. The count remains 0-2, and Blake Snell has thrown 29 pitches in a little more than 2 innings of work. The starting matchup tonight was Snell versus Gonsolin. The Dodgers have already had 3 different pitchers in 3 innings. It's been Tony Gonsolin to Dylan Floro, and then out to Alex Wood, who had a 1-2-3 inning and silenced the Rays' bats. We'll see if he returns in the top of the 4th, but either way, at the moment, nobody out. Runner on first for A.J. Pollock, and timeout is called, so we'll try this one again here. No balls and 2 strikes to the Dodgers' number 8 batter. Very rarely does he push the ball down the right field line. As a right-handed batter, he pulls the ball more often than not, just about 70% of the time, he'll hit it right to the left side of the diamond. So again, Taylor on first. The count is still 0-2. Few checks over to first. Timeout was called a few times. But we're going to go ahead and try this one again. Blake Snell's payoff pitch. Looking to strike out his 6th batter of the game. The 0-2 count will miss, down and away, 1-2. So Pollock in, Austin Barnes on deck. The Dodgers backstop. Austin Barnes is batting 9th. He's in the on-deck circle, and he's hitting .318 this October with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and an .855 OPS through a small sample size of 22 at-bats. And what a play! This ball is hit right on the nose. Joey Wendle makes a spectacular grab. It's a line out to third, good for the first out of the inning. Very nice heads-up play by the hot corner defensive glove of Joey Wendle. It robs Pollock of a single at least down the line. What would have brought Chris Taylor into scoring position. So now we go to Austin Barnes before flipping over to the lineup card. And again, he's batting .318 this October. Slotted 9th in the lineup tonight and is hitting just a mere 100 in the World Series. He takes strike one that he does not agree with as he nods his head. Barnes' only hit in the World Series is a home run. I do believe the roof is closed tonight out in Arlington, Texas, at Globe Life Field, which is hosting Game 6 of the World Series. The inaugural season for this stadium, as up to this point the Rangers utilized Globe Life Park, which is still up and still active, just not for baseball. It's right across the street from Texas's new stadium. And Barnes gets the disadvantage as a ball on the outer third of the plate is team strike 2. And he will chop this one down to Joey Wendle, who immediately goes straight to first with the throw. Pulls Ji-Man Choi off the bag, but the Rays first baseman will apply the tag in time, so it's a 5-3 ground out. Chris Taylor advances to second on the play. The Dodgers have their first runner in scoring position. So here we are. We go back to the top of the lineup. Mookie Betts will step in for the second time. He struck out in the opening frame against Blake Snell. And the key here is going to be the success of Mookie Betts at the plate. We talked about it earlier, but when the Dodgers win, their star right fielder, as of 2020, is hitting about .370. Now, when the Dodgers lose, Mookie Betts has an average in those games combined of .053. So obviously, the Dodgers do not have much success when Mookie Betts does not have much success. He falls behind in this count 0-1, but a single could very well even this game up at 1 run apiece. We're still in the early stages of Game 6, as a fastball is going to miss upstairs. Count goes even. Bottom of the third, the Rays jumped out to a 1-run lead in the first inning, and I'm realizing I never changed my scoreboard here. We are in the home half of the third inning. For those of you just joining us, Mookie Betts up in the box. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike, and Chris Taylor is in scoring position over at second. This is by far Blake Snell's longest inning here in Game 6. He retired the first 3 batters in each of the first 2 innings. Mookie Betts lays off the curveball in the dirt. The count goes 2 balls, 1 strike, and Taylor does not think about advancing over to third. Corey Seager could potentially come up if Mookie Betts finds his way onto the bases. Now, of course, Corey's bat has been red hot in the NL Championship Series. That's transferred into the World Series. He's batting .344 in October with 8 home runs and 19 runs batted in. He leads his team in all 3 of those categories: batting average, home runs, and RBIs this October. The count remains 2-2. Blake Snell looks to get out of this inning without allowing a run. So 2 outs here in the home half of the third. The delivery from the 6'4", 225-pound southpaw is a high heater. Mookie Betts cannot catch up to it. So that's going to be strikeout number 6 of the game for Snell. Mookie Betts goes down for the second time, swinging on strike 3, and that ends the frame. The Dodgers get a leadoff base runner, but cannot do anything to further that point. 1 hit, no runs, 1 man left on base. Nothing to show for the Chris Taylor leadoff single. We head to the top of the 4th, and this game's gone by fairly quickly. A little over an hour and 10 minutes in. And I'm going to go ahead and update the scoreboard and go to the top of the 4th. Rays lead 1-0. Joey Wendell, Willy Adames, and Kevin Kiermaier will all have their second at-bats of the game here in this inning. So here we are. Of course, in Game 6, with the Dodgers leading the series 3-2, the Rays have to try to find any means possible to extend their season. If they lose tonight, Major League Baseball will be done until the 2021 regular season comes around. The Dodgers will win their first World Series title since 1988. However, if we do force a Game 7, if the Rays go ahead and even things up here, make it interesting, tomorrow night we'll host a Game 7. One team will look to win their 4th game of the Fall Classic here in 2020, earn themselves the title, the trophy, the bragging rights, and all of the above. The Dodgers, 1 win away. The Rays, 2 wins away. And a lot on the line for both teams. The Rays were established as an organization. Their first season of play was the 1998 year. Los Angeles had already gone through 10, 11-year drought, winning a World Series up until that point. But again, the last time the Dodgers have been crowned the best team in baseball was back in 1988. The Rays have never had the satisfaction of winning a season, and they look to change the history books tonight and potentially tomorrow if Game 7 is necessary. Blake Snell having a phenomenal night on the mound for the Rays, and Alex Wood comes in for his second frame in the top of the fourth. First pitch to Joey Wendell is strike one. The Rays third baseman just 2 for 16 in the World Series with 3 runs batted in. And this is a line drive to Justin Turner, but he is there to make the play. So hit well off the bat of Wendell, but one third baseman lines out to the other. That's good for the first out of the game here in the top of the fourth. Hoping for a Game 7, an extra day for baseball. Yes, me too. Game 7 is truly an exciting game. We've seen it in years past, just the excitement that it brings to fans, to teams, and to just people all over. Whether or not you're a Rays fan or a Dodgers fan, something big is going to happen. One team is going to win it all. And this year, we may or may not reach that point. I'm kind of in a predicament because my postseason prediction, though a lot of the seeding brackets were wrong, I had a lot of teams moving on that did not make it far. But my final result for the Fall Classic was Rays-Dodgers. I had the Dodgers winning in 7. As Willy Adames chases a fastball upstairs, swinging strike 3. That's the second out of the frame. So I had the Dodgers winning in 7 games, with Corey Seager being named the most valuable player. I want the Dodgers to win this World Series. Honestly, I could really care less. I'd be excited for either, but I'm rooting for LA more than I'm rooting for Tampa Bay. That's for a few reasons. Also, I just want my prediction to be right, but if the Dodgers can win it and clinch in Game 6, go ahead and do it. End it. Don't put yourself through the trouble. Though I do think, of course, with these two caliber teams, a Game 7 would be so fun. I think a Game 7 would be fantastic. The Rays, the Dodgers, I mean, you look at the potential pitching matchups. It's Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler. That right there is like, give me all that. That is a true baseball fan. Like, that's what they want. They look for matchups like this. Buehler versus Morton tomorrow in a potential Game 7. All or nothing game. Everything on the line. That's incredible. And this is not Morton's first Game 7 rodeo. You know, Charlie was a part of that Houston Astros team in 2017 as Alex Wood gets very excited, as he should, with strikeout number 2 on the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Wendell lines out to third. Adames strikes out. Kiermaier strikes out. No hits, no runs, no man left on base. We go to the home half of the fourth. But as I was saying, you know, Charlie Morton was a part of the Astros in 2017. He closed out Game 7 of the World Series, denied the Dodgers of the title, and he could go ahead and do that yet again tomorrow night, which would be history. You know, making history for the Rays, their first World Series, and just Morton preventing the Dodgers from a big win for the second time would be quite fun. You deserve more subs. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The channel has grown quite a bit this year, and I'm excited to see where it takes me and where it takes us as a community moving forward. My prediction bracket was so close. I had the Cubs beating the Marlins. The other one was good. Wow, nice. Yeah, I have to go back and look to see exactly what I got wrong. I do know because I had made like a biased bracket, like obviously the Yankees beating anyone and everyone. Then an actual like baseball, like this makes sense, this is possible type of thing. But I think most importantly, Rays and Dodgers. I had LA in 7, so that's what I'm hoping for. I did not come anywhere close to a perfect bracket, but that's okay. One year, I want to get pretty close. Hello, are you scoring the game? Yes, I am. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great night. I hope everyone in the chat is having a great night. Thank you all for joining the live stream. But as you can tell, we're going to the bottom of the fourth. The Rays lead the Dodgers 1-0. And I have my scorebook in front of me here. Rays and Dodgers battling out for a crucial Game 6 win. Of course, If the Dodgers win this one, the year is over, but the Rays need this W more than ever because they need to extend their season, push a Game 7, and maybe win their first title ever, which I think would be great. Don't get me wrong. I want to see the Rays win and accomplish this huge feat, but the Dodgers have just come so close and so far in 2 of the past 3 years. I think they're due. They're most definitely due. With Mookie Betts on this team now, joining some great company in Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Max Muncy. I mean, those guys offensively are great. And then you have pitchers, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler. I mean, Kershaw's the first ballot Hall of Famer. Walker Buehler has been incredibly dominant this postseason and throughout 2020. And really throughout his career, he's been very good. The Dodgers team is exciting. So is Tampa Bay's lineup. But I mean, I'm really wanting to go ahead and see LA finally walk off either in Game 6 or Game 7 with that piece of metal, as Rob Manfred would say. But I really want to go ahead and see them win the title this year. In steps Corey Seager for his second go. He's facing off against Blake Snell, and he'll foul the first pitch back for strike one. He went down swinging on just 3 pitches his first time around, struck out easily. And we'll take the high heater just wide of the zone. The count's even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blake Snell has gone through a little more than 3 innings, tossing 41 pitches. Number 42 is a fastball at 95 inside, which Seager fouls back. It's 1-2. I mean, we look at Blake Snell's first start of the World Series here in 2020. He went 4 2/3 innings with 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, and 1 home run. So far, he's gone through 3 innings, 6 strikeouts, no earned runs, 1 hit, no walks. He's just been incredible. And he's giving the Rays a silver platter right now. He's saying, hey, I'm doing my part. I'm limiting Los Angeles. You need to go ahead on the flip side of things, hit the ball, score some runs, and get us to Game 7 because I can't do it by myself. Randy Arozarena gave him some insurance very early on. First inning, second batter of the game, solo home run. But since then, really nothing for either team. Seager works a 2-2 count before striking out on a swinging strike 3. That's his second time going down on the punch out. And Snell's 7th punchy of the game. He's pitching a gem. The Rays just haven't scored well. Yeah. I mean, if Tampa can go ahead, I think the magic number would be anywhere from 4 to 5 runs. If they can score that much, and Blake Snell can continue to go through 5, 6 innings, there should be no reason why the Rays cannot come out with a Game 6 win. Because Snell will be able to limit Los Angeles as he's done for the first 10 outs. And he's allowed 1 base runner, 1 hit. Exceptional stuff so far. But the bullpen for Tampa Bay, they have gotten roughed up a little bit in the postseason, especially in the World Series. But the bullpen is fully rested. So anyone that needs to come into this ballgame in the back end for the Bay can and will. Whether it's Diego Castillo, Peter Fairbanks, all of the above, anyone or anyone, this is the game to get big names in. Of course, you do want to limit some of their appearances because if you need Peter Fairbanks for a potential Game 7, you'll probably throw him in an inning or so. A runner in scoring position without scoring, yep. So that runner in scoring position was back in the 3rd. Chris Taylor had a leadoff single. Later made it to 2nd on a fielder's choice, but did not advance any further. Justin Turner gets into a 2-2 count now as he will offer and miss at the 2-1 pitch. Snell, 48 pitches, bottom of the fourth. Again, throwing a gem out there on the mound. Couldn't have been better said by one of the comments here in the live chat. Turner checks his swing, cannot hold up at a curveball in the dirt. It drops in front of Mike Zunino, but the throw will obviously be down in time from Zunino to Choice. That's strikeout number 8. I mean, Blake Snell is cruising. He's plowing through this lineup right now. 3 strikeouts in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and now the first 2 batters have struck out here in the 4th inning. Can Blake Snell do Cy Young stuff in 2021? Well, let's go ahead and look at his numbers. That's a good point. Of course, Blake Snell is a previous American League Cy Young Award winner. As the first pitch to Muncy misses outside for ball 1. Now, I'm going to Blake Snell's stats here from the past few seasons. Trying to make sure I don't miss much on screen. And a curveball bounces way in front of, Barnes, in front of Mike Zunino for ball 2. Regular season stuff from Snell. Of course, his Cy Young Award came just a few years back in 2018. In that season, 180 innings pitched, 31 starts, a 1.89 ERA, 21 wins, 5 losses, and ever since, the wheels have kind of fallen off the wagon. A 4.29 ERA in 23 games in the 2019 season, 107 innings, a 3.24 ERA in 11 games here. Of course, remember, obviously 6-game season, so not so much playing time, but a 3.24 ERA in 11 games, winning 4, losing 2. Not all too bad, but Snell's lowest ERA, not looking at his Cy Young season in Major League Baseball, was 3.24 in 2020. 2018 was a great year for him, 180 innings, 38 earned runs. He had 221 strikeouts. Other than that, he's never exceeded 147 in a full season. His whip was .97 in that 18 year. Average against was 178. I mean, these are just numbers that really don't compare to 2016, 2017, 2019, or 2020 in a regular season setting. So can Blake Snell return to that form? Without a doubt. Just he did not have that sub-2 ERA stuff or that strikeout stuff per se ever since the Cy Young Award and previously, prior to he won that title back in 2018. So we'll see how he does. I'm a huge fan of Blake Snell, and personally, I love watching his streams on Twitch. I just think he's a really fun guy, and obviously a great athlete and pitcher. He's going to go ahead and sit down Max Muncy. It was a full count. Just the high heat has been pitch after pitch in 2-strike counts, and he has gotten Los Angeles batters to look silly almost each and every time. He strikes up the side for the 2nd inning. That is strikeout number 9. 9 strikeouts in 12 outs. We go to the top of the 5th, and this game is going by in the blink of an eye. So we'll go ahead and see. Obviously, Blake Snell has been very good in the postseason. This postseason, 5 games pitched, 2-2, 3.33 ERA, 24 1/3 innings, 28 strikeouts, and a 1.32 WHIP. Well, this game is an exception, especially to his 2 losses, but a 0 ERA with 1 hit and 9 strikeouts through 4 completed innings of work, just looking very good. 8 career postseason games leading up till tonight, winning 2, losing 3, a 3.03 ERA, and again, those career postseason games, 35 strikeouts, 29 and 2/3 innings. Yeah, Snell has just, he's so good. He is so good. And the rotation for the Rays obviously is going to be one of their key points going into this season and in the postseason. The three-headed snake of Glasnow, Snell, and Morton is disgusting. And that is where they really have a lot of success. Now, Glasnow hasn't done well in the World Series. Morton did lose, I believe, his last start in the World Series here, so he pitches tomorrow. Actually, wait, hold on. He might not have lost the start. I think the Rays just lost that game. Let me see who got credited with the L there. Okay, so his last game we'll take a look at. That was October 23rd. So he did get the loss, a 2.7 ERA, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. So Morton did well, but not as good as he could have, considering, his previous 3 starts in the postseason were all near flawless victories. October 7th against the Yankees, a 1.8 ERA, 5 innings, 1 earned run. October 12th against the Astros, a .9 ERA, 5 innings, no earned runs. And then against Houston again, October 17th, .57 ERA, 5 2/3 innings, no earned runs again. So really, Morton hit his rough patch in October against the Dodgers. Is that a worrisome sign? If you are the Rays and you get to Game 7 tomorrow, potentially. But you also know that Charlie Morton in Game 7 is a completely different person. So Pedro Baez comes in now in the 5th frame to pitch for the Dodgers. He faces off against Mike Zunino. The count is 1-2 as Mike is way early on a changeup up and in. Taking a look at Baez's numbers, he is 6 feet tall, 232 pounds, and a right-handed 32-year-old reliever. He slips right there after he delivers the ball to Zunino, but he seems to be okay, which is a good sign. Pedro has a 3.86 postseason ERA in 7 games this October, in 7 innings with 9 strikeouts and a whip at 1 flat. He will get Zunino to strike out. Swing and miss, strike 3. And that brings up Ji-Man Choi for his 3rd go-around. Baez in 2020, a 3.18 ERA in 18 games with 2 saves, 17 innings, 13 strikeouts, and a 1.00 whip. So not too bad overall, but if you're Baez, of course, you want to limit the Bay to no runs, obviously. But if you can kind of mask the potential production of this Rays lineup and get your team back to a possibility where they can at least tie it before more runs are allowed, you're setting yourself and your team up for success here in Game 6. Ji-Man Choi, first pitch he sees, he's going to pop up to the infield, and third baseman Justin Turner camps under it for the out. In steps Randy Arozarena, who is ever so dangerous, entered tonight with a .370 batting average. In his first at-bat of Game 6, he hit his 10th home run of October and his 14th RBI. He's 7 for 20 in the World Series with 3 dingers and 4 RBIs. Ridiculous numbers. And 1 for 2 tonight with that home run in the first. He struck out in the second, coming up for his 3rd time here in the 5th. And we'll see if Baez can sit him down for a 2nd time. Randy sees strike 1. It's actually deemed a strike by the home plate umpire. That was a good borderline pitch. Could have gone either way, depending on the guy calling balls and strikes. but Baez placed that perfectly on the black for the outer third of the plate. It was good for ball one. Now a fastball registers at 96 miles per hour, but this one will miss high and wide. The count goes even, 1-1 strike. Of course, this game would be scoreless if it wasn't for Randy, who rakes all night, day, year, according to Brett Phillips. The Game 4 hero of the World Series. That was a historic World Series game. What an ending. But Brett Phillips is a guy that a lot of Rays fans will remember, no matter really what the outcome is of this World Series. But the improbable hero steps in and delivers to the best extent possible. Arozarena takes one up and kind of jumps out of the way. Doesn't think it's going to be a strike, but it is. It's 2 apiece with 2 outs. On deck would be the left-handed bat of Austin Meadows. Baez has thrown 9 pitches, retired the first 2 he saw. And now the 2-2 count. Randy Arozarena grounds it through the left side of the infield past the diving glove of Justin Turner, and that's going to be a hit. So it's a 2-out single for Randy. He's aboard now. That's his second hit of the game. And I've brought it up a handful of times already in the stream. I don't want to go ahead and keep mentioning this, but I think it's a key point. The Rays cannot strictly rely on Randy to go ahead and win this game, because fact of the matter is, he is one batter in a 9-man lineup, and that will end Pedro Baez's night. It looks like Eric Gonzalez is coming in. I could be wrong with that, but we will see, of course, as we return to commercial break for sure, who was jogging out of the bullpen. So Randy is batting second. He's got a great bat, but he cannot be held responsible or accountable for any win or loss single-handedly. He's got 2 hits. He's the deciding factor at the moment because it's a 1-run game and he has a solo home run. But other guys have to step up and plate runs, tally RBIs here for the Rays to have success, because sooner or later Blake Snell's not going to be in this game, and the Rays have had a bullpen that's gotten a little lit up over the course of the World Series and the postseason alone. So though they may have their 8 guys ready to go, it's not a guaranteed win from that point, or a hold, or a save, no matter who the arm is. So it's still the top of the 5th inning. We're currently in the middle of a commercial break as a result of a Dodgers pitching change. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and see. We have Victor Gonzalez. I don't know why I said Eric Gonzalez. Victor Gonzalez is going ahead and making his way into this one here. He's a 6-foot-tall left-handed reliever coming out of the bullpen for LA, 24 years old. He has a 3.38 postseason earned run average, both in his career and in 2020. This is his first year making it this far into any given baseball season. He's pitched in 7 games, 5 1/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, and a 1.69 whip. Victor made his Major League Baseball debut in this regular season. He went 3-0 in 15 games with 1 start and a 1.33 ERA over the course of 20 1/3 innings. His opponent batting average was 176, and he throws 1 pitch. Austin Meadows grounds it to the right side of the infield, but Chris Taylor will be there to make the play. It's a 4-3 ground out. Taylor was in the shift, got to the ball easily. That ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Randy Arozarena gets on, tries to get something going, but Tampa Bay cannot bring him around. So it's still a 1-run game. We're in the middle of the 5th. And the Dodgers will try to go ahead and finally get to Blake Snell here in the home half of this frame. Let's go LA. Please choke the end. I mean, I'm rooting for the Dodgers and the Rays. I really would be excited to see any team win. And we talked about this either last inning or the inning before. But I just think that the Dodgers are due. Not saying the Rays aren't. They've never won a World Series. They've been a team since 1998. But Los Angeles, just the narrative is so upsetting. Three pennants in the last 4 years. Obviously, a pennant this year, and the World Series hasn't ended yet. But discarding 2020, 2 pennants in 3 seasons. They made it all the way to the World Series. A tragic end against the Astros in a cheating season. I mean, just ridiculous. And then the Red Sox got the upper hand. So it's definitely tough. The Rays just have never got that title. But LA's been longing for this moment since 2017. So it'll be fun to see how this series ends, whether it's in Game 6 and the Dodgers come back here in this one, or if the Rays make this one exciting, go to a Game 7 and a winner-takes-all scenario. Either way, there'll be fun baseball to be had. The Rays were in the World Series in 08. Yes, they were. Just they have not won a World Series ever. Tampa Bay has that one and only pennant before 2020. In 2008, I believe they lost in 5 games to the Philadelphia Phillies. And was it the Phillies? Yes, I think so. Let me go ahead and check right here. But I was still in my young early digits. It was Phillies and Rays, Game 5. Yep, thank you. Okay, thank you. So Cole Hamels actually won the MVP that year. I'm reading for the Philadelphia Phillies, which is a lot of fun. He was supposed to be the Braves this season and then opting out and everything. But either way, the Rays had that pennant in 2008. Kevin Cash brought this team to their 2nd pennant in franchise history here in 2020, and they're looking for that win finally. No matter who wins the Fall Classic here in 2020, it's going to be a fun storyline. It's going to be a great narrative, something that's told for a while, because it's history for both teams, no matter how you look at it. Hello to everyone in the chat and in the stream. Thank you for joining me tonight at one point or another, and especially if you're in here now, I appreciate it. Will Smith goes ahead and tries to bunt his way on, but fouls this one back unsuccessfully. Smith is the designated hitter for LA tonight, and he struck out back in the 2nd inning, but Will's not the only one. 9 batters have gone down on strike 3 and fallen victim to Blake Snell. He has just been so incredibly good here in Game 6. He's setting Tampa Bay up for the win. Whether or not they take advantage of it, we'll see, of course, come the 9th inning and when this last out is made. If Rays win, they will deserve it. If both teams worked hard, at least they're not cheating, which I respect. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a very exciting series, just in the sense where this is actually a matchup between the best teams from each league. The Rays finished the 2020 abbreviated season with a 40-20 record. The Dodgers are the best record in baseball. They were 43-17. Both fell atop their respective leagues and won the number 1 seed. As Smith takes this one for a ride, but sends it to right field, and Manny Margot will be there to make the play, so 1 out. But this is a battle of the best 2 teams. Of course, the argument can be made, well, you know, if a 2 or 3 seed team makes it all the way to the World Series, or any seed team makes it to the World Series, they are quote unquote the best. But just performance wise, in a 60-game span, the Rays outperformed the other 14 teams in their league. And the Dodgers did the same thing in the NL. Now they're facing off against each other, and it's great. A lot of fun. And exciting games, too. Like, there hasn't been, like, a blowout really yet. It's been fairly close in each of these first 5 nights. And as we currently see, we've taken it to the bottom of the 5th. It's a 1-run game. The Dodgers making their 3rd World Series appearance in 4 seasons. The Rays in it for the first time since 2008. Dodgers looking for their first win in 33 years. The Rays were established in 98 and have never been successful. You know, they have never gotten that title. So a lot of fun to be had. This has just been an incredible series. And Bellinger fouls this one in play, but it's just going to get over the net. Never mind. Just past the netting, out into the seats. The count goes 1-1. I respected the Astros when they won the World Series in 2017 because that was an intense series. When I found out they cheated the entire team, I lost respect for it. It makes it sad to look at it. Yeah, I mean, it was terrible. And what the Astros did, extremely wrong, violated so many rules and policies and regulations and laws of Major League Baseball. I mean, that's just really not an easily forgivable task. No one's ever done what they did to an extreme extent. So it's tough. And there are still good players on that team, whether or not, you know, they cheated. Like in 2016 and years prior, there have been very great players. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa. They are good at what they do without cheating, but just it taints the reputation. And it makes the hitters look bad. It makes the team look bad too in the personnel because who knew what was going on, you know? Like, maybe pitchers were aware, maybe they weren't. Maybe every hitter knew what was going on, maybe they didn't. Because apparently some guys didn't know where they refused to use the trash cans, but you can't believe them, especially when they cheated deliberately. Bellinger in a 2-2 count sends this one right down the first base line. Ji-Man Choi will pick it up and take it to the bag himself. 3 unassisted, out number 2. So, I mean, the Astros just cheating, stripped them of their dignity and the respect that people had for them. You look at that World Series title, it means nothing. The trophy, meaningless. Altuve's MVP is a waste. Aaron Judge should have won that award. Really, either way. I was extremely upset when Judge did not get Most Valuable Player award. Obviously, big biased Yankees fan right here. But Aaron Judge, incredible rookie season. And his numbers compared to Altuve in certain categories and statistics just blew the Astros second baseman away. So I was just upset that he didn't get the votes, but doesn't matter. I mean, we know that he now deserved it, of course, way more than Altuve did. Got me mad. Slap on a wrist. Didn't strip the title. Yeah, I mean, Manfred just took a terrible approach to it. A terrible approach. And Rob has not done well in that commissioner role. I would really love to go ahead and do a Rob Manfred rant, which we might find on the channel this winter. He's just not going about baseball in the right direction, seemingly whatsoever. And, like, he was bringing up how Major League Baseball's in debt in the middle of a World Series where it's close, and the Dodgers have a chance of winning it all, and the Rays are really trying to make a comeback. It's just, oh my gosh. I get upset sometimes with Manfred just because it doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. No matter how long he's had the position, he's just not the guy for Major League Baseball. The Yankees just got off the top, most hated them. Yankees just got off the top of the most hated team list. I mean, yeah. A lot of people resort to not liking the Yankees, and I can see why. 27 rings. They have really high, expensive payrolls. The budget seems just to be through the roof every year. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, most successful team throughout history, no matter how they got there, they never cheated for a World Series. So they might have bought expensive players to help get them there, but they never cheated. So there is that point. Kind of like the Patriots in football. Yeah, I mean that whole Tom Brady thing was ridiculous. That was quite funny. Don't flex. No, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, um, Yankees were said to have cheated. Red Sox were said to have cheated with the Apple Watch technology and stuff years ago. Not to any crazy extents. But just, no matter how many titles the Yankees did or did not win, and no matter how many titles any of the 28 other teams won, none of them cheated except the Astros. And of course, some teams have not won a World Series, so I get that point is not valid. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that the Astros now have, I think, become the most hated team. So a ground out here ends the inning, and the Dodgers have still only had one hit and one base runner. Very limited success against Blake Snell, who has gone through 5 strong frames. No hits, no runs, no men left on base for the Los Angeles lineup there. And now we go to the 6th inning. What about Aaron with the steroids? Okay, so yeah, I mean, PED uses it is more of a player thing, of course. I'm not, okay, quick timeout. I'm not supporting or I'm not trying to defend A-Rod or anyone who uses steroids. That's more of a player-based thing than the Yankees, or they're an organizational-based cheating method. I don't think the Yankees were telling A-Rod, hey, go take some steroids before the games, or use performance enhancement drugs. I don't think they were telling him to do that, because what team would? I don't think it's Yankees bias. I just really think you look at any player, any team, I can almost guarantee their manager or the staff did not say, hey, go use some steroids, because just that, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh, you're joking. Okay, yeah, I was just going to say, I'm like, I'm not trying to be biased. I don't want to come off that way either. I'm just trying to say, I don't think that, steroids can be a team blame thing. Houston cheated as an organization. A-Rod cheated on his own. Yep, that's exactly what I'm trying to make. Thank you, Outcast. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, in some aspect, you have to give the Astros some sort of, slap on the wrist, which really didn't happen all too much. We know that they got punished. It wasn't a lot. But the extent of the intelligence and the thought process that had to go into, you know what? We're going to put a camera out in center field and bang on a trash can. That's not something that people just think of. Like, it must have been a developed idea over time. Just the entire thing. Very upsetting. The way that they were able to pull that off, not in a good way, it is still just frustrating to this day. Victor Gonzalez is in now, back in the top of the 6th. He will lead it off against Brandon Lowe, the left-handed second baseman who walked in his first at-bat and grounded out back to the pitcher his second time around. What could you do to them? I mean, strip the title. That's where the lines get blurred, though, because you can't punish individual players. And I think the Players Association would get in on that and put a halt to that very quickly and shut that down. I just think the fine of $5 million was the max. Of course, they did the most that they could there. They lost a few supplemental draft picks. Alex Cora was fired. Not Alex Cora. Wrong team. But, Red Sox got rid of Cora and everything with that cheating thing that went on. But they lost their manager. They lost some personnel. I don't like that it was all 1 year suspensions, though. Not a fan of that. Um, Once you count to loud, this is going to miss down and away. 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. Brandon Lau is 0 for 1 here in the top of the 6th. Could you bang the thing in the stadium? Yeah. If that's what you were asking. Oh, wait. Could you ban thing in the stadium? Like banning cameras somehow, but not MLB crew. Oh, I think meant like, can they bang the trash in the stadium? Could Major League Baseball ban cameras? I think it gets. I don't think they can do that. Just, I don't see that being possible. Also, Major League Baseball shouldn't be looking for cameras because teams shouldn't be cheating. Now that the Astros did that, it's definitely out on the radar. But overall, I do not see them being able to say, hey, no cameras allowed. Because then even, what's stopping a scout or a faculty person being in the stands with a camera, relaying it that way, like an iPhone camera, like, recording the game or whatever, like, and then sending it out real time. There are still ways that if the Astros want to cheat again, or if any team wants to cheat again, using a camera-based technology, they could. So, it's tough. It's tough. 0-2 count to Manny Margot. Brandon Lau was retired. Yeah, AJ Hinch, the 1 year suspension, not thrilled with. I mean, 1 year suspension. Um, what's 1 year gonna do? If he wants to come back to the Astros, he can easily come back or whatever. But any given team. I know the Tigers have a vacancy in their managerial role. Like, what's stopping Cora or Hinch going for that? Or what's stopping Alex Cora from returning with the Red Sox? There's just so many things that went wrong with that. And again, it's hard to point fingers and put the blame on one individual person or everyone and punish people, but, what else could have been done, I guess. Just trying to think of something that MLB could do to punch the Astros, just a suggestion. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think they really did all that was in their power, and I can't be too upset, and fans can't be too upset. But I know there was a decent amount of people who thought, like, hey, what about the title just kind of stripping it from them because they don't really deserve it. It is what it is. I thought they fired him, the Astros organization. Yeah, so there were suspensions handed out. At least, I believe to Hinch, if I'm recalling correctly, I believe Hinch was suspended for a year and can return. And then the Astros fired him following the suspension. So, like, they said, okay, you're not coming back in 2021. Like, I think that's kind of the firing they did. Don't quote me on that, but that's, I believe, what I remember. Dusty Baker is better than Hinch. Oh, yeah. I think Baker has had a lot of success with the team. Even though the Astros didn't do crazy well in 2020, he still brought them to the championship series against the Tampa Bay Rays, and they made it close. they almost came back from a 3-0 or an 0-3 deficit in the American League Championship Series. If they came back, Dusty Baker would be all over right now. Like, that's incredible. Even coming back 3-3 and forcing Game 7 is great. So Margot will strike out now. That's 2 away. He goes down swinging. Now Joey Wendle steps in. He struck out swinging to the first and lined out to third in the fourth. So yeah, I honestly would not be surprised if Hinch and or Alex Cora make a comeback as a manager this upcoming season. This one's going to miss inside to Joey Wendle. The count is 1-0. Two outs here in the top of the sixth. And then a fastball inside, fouled again off the body of Joey Wendle. His first at-bat, he fouled the ball right into his leg. And now I think it hit off him again. 1-1 strike. And we'll see if Blake Snell comes back out for a sixth inning. It seems like he has enough in the tank to go ahead and do that. He's been pitching extraordinarily here in Game 6. So we'll see what happens. I mean, especially if the Rays can limit the Dodgers' production and the bullpen usage on behalf of the Rays. If they can get 6 innings out of Snell, or maybe 6 and like a third, that would be insane, and that'd be clutch, because that potentially allows every bullpen guy to be available for tomorrow. Because if you can hold guys to minimum pitches, then they can pitch back-to-back games. So you can go to anyone tomorrow, have the upper hand after Charlie Morton making the start. 1-2 count, 2 outs, top of the sixth. Nobody on base for Joey Wendle, who was hitless here in this one. Game time has been a little over 2 hours, and I'd say about 5 minutes. As we usually set the stream a little bit early to do the intro and to kind of look at the starting pitching matchups. The count's even, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Yes, this one's been at a very fast pace. We're going to go to the middle of the sixth, probably about 2 hours, 10 minutes in at the most, which is not bad whatsoever. Game's going by quick. It's been very close, 1-0, ever since the top of the first. And Eric Gonzalez screaming excited, let's go. That is going to be a strikeout to Joey Wendle in a huge situation. So Wendle goes ahead, ends the inning offensively for Tampa. We go to the home half of the sixth, the middle of the inning here. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be still on this stream. I'll be back in just a few moments as the bottom of the sixth is underway. I'm going to go grab some water and take a quick stretch. I'll see you guys in a few. Alright, and we are back. We head to the bottom of the 6th. This is still just a one-run game. Both teams have been limited to no success at the plate, minus Randy Arozarena's solo home run back in the first. There have been a few hits since, but no runs plated other than that solo shot. And now A.J. Pollock will shoot this one high into the air, but Brandon Lau just a few feet back behind the infield dirt, and that'll be caught. It's a pop-up to second for the first out of the 6th inning based on the Dodgers lineup. Here we go. Pollock is retired. Barnes is up now, and Mookie Betts is on deck. Not saying that LA is running out of time, but I think they are in a better spot right now if they start scoring runs in the 6th and 7th rather than delaying it up to the 8th and 9th. And they want to come back, of course, win this game, clinch the World Series berth here. But Blake Snell enters the 6th inning. He retires the first batter he sees here, and 71 pitches. So he's still got a lot in the tank. There are 21 combined strikeouts tonight, which is most through any 6 innings of a World Series game in history. Lots of history being made here in the 2020 Fall Classic. Single player stats with Randy Arozarena like shattering every record, it seems like. And then you have combined stats like the strikeouts, consecutive half innings with runs plated. So there's just so much going on, but this has been a Fall Classic to remember. One out, a 1-1 count, and Barnes, who's 0 for 1, he sends this one back up the middle, and it's gonna fall. Kevin Kiermaier plays it on the one hop. So Austin Barnes, with a flare and a flurry of action in the bottom third of the lineup, number 9 batter gets on base for Mookie Betts, who has not had any success so far tonight. 2 strikeouts. He's 0 for 2 on the day. And that single just knocked Blake Snell out of the game. 6 1/3 innings. He gave up just 2 hits. 2 hits in over 6 innings of work. Striking out 9 batters. Not bad at all. Great start from Blake in an incredibly crucial scenario for the Tampa Bay Rays. It looked like Nick Anderson was warming up in the bullpen. So I'm assuming he's going to come in and relieve the left-handed Snell, who again just had an incredible outing here in Game 6. Anderson's been one of the guys heavily relied on out of the back end of the pen. For Tampa Bay this year, he's been very good in the regular season. Let me take you through his numbers really quick. Nick Anderson, sports number 70. He's 6'4", 205 pounds, and a 30-year-old right-handed reliever. 2020, a .55 ERA in the regular season, 2 wins, 1 loss, 6 saves, 26 strikeouts, and 16 innings. Postseason, he got roughed up a little bit. His record is even 1 win, 1 loss in 9 games and 1 save, but the ERA is 5.02. Again, in 9 games, 14 1/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, and a 1.33 whip. His regular season, he was lights out, untouchable. Postseason, kind of the opposite. So, when we see Nick Anderson step into this ball game, it's going to be Mookie Betts as the first batter he faces. Say water? Water. Alright. There we go. I don't know. I've never been told I have an accent. But there we go. Water. So, there's that. Okay. Back to the top of the 6th inning here. Nick Anderson steps in. I've read you his stats. He's not all too hot in the postseason. 8 earned runs in 14 and a third innings. That's just in 9 games. So, okay. We'll see if maybe this is what the Dodgers needed. They just had to knock out Blake Snell, and they can get themselves on the board. I only have an accent on water. It's funny. Okay. I never realized that. So that's interesting. Thank you for bringing that up. I never knew. I guess just kind of never listen to myself speak when I'm talking about it. But there we go. Okay. So Anderson steps in, and he has 2 pitches to his day now. Both have missed the zone wide. So the count goes 2-0 to Mookie Betts, who's got a pair of strikeouts on the day. Mookie, Corey, and Justin have all struck out 2 times. That's a total of 6 punch-outs with the top 3 guys in the lineup. Those are usually some of the better performers on this team. But Mookie Betts singles one down the line. Off to third is Austin Barnes. And he will stay at third. It is a 1-out double. Mookie Betts, what I just say, is that what the Dodgers needed? They just had to get Snell out of this game? Could very well be possible. Nick Anderson has struggled here in the 2020 October. Not off to a great start. 1 batter faced and a double. So 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out for Corey Seager, who has been hot. He has to face the righty Nick Anderson. There is nothing Kevin Cash can do about it. 3 batter minimum, right-handed Anderson, a left-handed Seager. He's due for a hit, 2 strikeouts on the day. Coming into tonight was hitting .344 with 8 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Timeout will be called, I guess, to discuss what's going on with Anderson, what the plan of attack should be here as he faces Corey Seager, who could very well be the World Series MVP if the Dodgers do come out on top. At the very least, the Dodgers need a fly ball to the outfield that would be deep enough to score catcher Austin Barnes from third. A fly ball ties this game up here in the 6th inning. And again, Seager 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He's 8 for 19 in the World Series with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. 2 in scoring position. A single gives the Dodgers the first lead of the game potentially. Because we know Mookie Betts can fly around the bases. I mean, 7 RBIs this October, which is ridiculous. Super fast. Very well-rounded player. And Seager will swing right through this when the count goes 0-1. There is a shift. 3 fielders on the right side of the infield. This one drops in the dirt. Austin Barnes going home. He will score on the wild pitch, make it a 1-1 ball game, and it is tied. Oh my goodness, a wild pitch from Nick Anderson gets away from Mike Zunino. This game is tied up. And that run gets credited to Blake Snell. Mookie Betts advances to third, so a sac fly gives the Dodgers a lead. A breaking ball in the dirt. Seager does a great job laying off of it, and Zunino cannot keep it in front of his glove. Taylor gets a great jump. Scores with ease, I would say, on the pass ball. Wild pitch, not a pass ball. Okay. And now Seager sends this one down the first baseline. Mookie Betts takes off on contact. Ji-Man Choi throws home, but not in time. It's a fielder's choice. RBI single. A fielder's choice hit for Corey Seager. That's not a hit. Wow. Okay. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. Give me a second here. The wild pitch scores Barnes. Betts scores on a fielder's choice by Corey Seager. Hit right down the first base line. Wow, Ji-Man Choi took it right to home instead of going for the shore out. So Seager stands on first, 1 away. And the Dodgers are up 2-1. They have a lead for the first time here in Game 6. Turner falls behind on 1. Your game is ahead of mine when you yelled, you scare me. I'm sorry about that. I'm getting excited here. I'm getting excited. Mookie Betts scores. We know he has speed. He was going to take off on contact, especially when the ground ball eliminates the sac fly. That's the second time he's scored on a ground ball to the infield this World Series. That's Mookie Betts. You know, this is just a great representation of the stat that I brought up, and that's come up in pregame shows, prior to the start of the World Series. But when the Dodgers win, Mookie Betts is hitting well over 350. I believe the number was 375. But when the Dodgers win in this postseason, Mookie Betts is hitting with a phenomenal average. In combined Dodgers losses, Mookie Betts is hitting .053. The Dodgers had a 1-0 deficit coming into this inning. Austin Barnes gets a single. Mookie Betts comes up. He doubles. It's not an RBI double, but he doubles. And then a batter later, the Dodgers have the lead. I mean, that's exactly what this stat means. Mookie Betts, when he has success, it just so happens that the Dodgers have very similar success. And Justin Turner, deep out to left field. Randy Arozarena must have been maybe 3 feet in front of the wall to make that catch on the warning track. Nick Anderson is extremely lucky it is not a 4-1 ball game right now. Turner misses a home run by a matter of feet. It had the height. He just got under it, not the distance. Fly out to left, out number 2. Let's go. It's a hit. It's a hit. That's not a hit. Yeah, so, okay. Because technically, that scored a fielder's choice. So, Seager made contact, so he hit the ball, but it's not necessarily scored a hit. So that's what I was trying to portray there. I was excited. I'm getting in the moment. Guys, if you haven't realized already, I get very enthused over these games. I'm in it. I'm going to show emotion. I'm going to show reaction. And yes, usually as a result, just the words don't have an easy path to the microphone. Just I kind of lose the language a little bit when something good happens here. That was needed, but it's not over till it's over yet. Outcast, 100% right. We saw what the Rays have done in Game 4. We know what they're capable of. It's not over till the last out is made. But I feel good with the Dodgers lead right now. They have to keep capitalizing on these moments with runners in scoring position and Blake Snell being pulled. But a lead is a lead, and I'll take that. Sounds good. Sounds good. So there's another pitching change. It looks like Nick Anderson is out of this ball game now. I'm going to go head to the app and see who he's being replaced with, who was relieving Nick Anderson. And it seems to be Aaron Loop. coming in. So let's go ahead and pull up his numbers here for you all. Aaron Loup is a left-handed reliever, 32 years old. This postseason, a 3.6 ERA in 8 games through 5 innings, striking out 7 batters and a 1.4 whip, no saves, wins, or losses. In the 2020 season, he won 3, lost 2, and had 0 saves again. That's in 24 games with a 2.52 earned run average through 25 innings, striking out 22, and having a whip of .84. Tampa Bay has lost the lead for the first time this ball game. Randy Arozarena had a solo home run back in the first. Tampa has been silenced ever since, and the Dodgers put up 2 runs here in the 6th inning. It's not quite over. Aaron Loup steps in to face Max Muncy. Of course, Kevin Cash goes to the left-handed reliever for the lefty-lefty matchups. Tampa fans in the chat, it's not over yet. It's only 1 run. 1 swing in the bat can easily change that. So don't be discouraged just yet. The season is still very much alive. Also, we know what this team is capable of in the 9th inning, in later innings of this game. I'm not counting anyone out until that last pitch is thrown and the last out is recorded, because that is when we know this game is officially over. So, at the time being, Tampa may be down, but they're most definitely not out. There's still plenty of time and opportunity for them to go ahead and score runs. The 0-2 count to Max Muncy is taken outside for ball 1. All right, 1-2 count to the Dodgers' first baseman, who is in for his 3rd time. No success so far. 2 times up, he grounded out. His first time around, he struck out back in the 4th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on first. The Dodgers have scored 2 runs. And we'll see if they can add on to that total here. In the bottom of the 6th. I keep forgetting to change that part of my scoreboard. The bottom of the 6th inning. Count goes full now to Max. Corey Seager has the lead off first, and Will Smith is due up next. Much like the majority of guys in this lineup, Smith, no success in this game. Muncy trying to find himself in the hit column. Full count. He swings, puts it in play, but because of the shift, Willy Adames, playing to the left side of second base, is there and will throw over to Ji-Man Choi in time. That ends the inning. So a 6-3 ground out. But the Dodgers finally get to work. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits, leaving 1 man on base, 2 earned runs, 1 for Blake Snell, who, other than that short appearance in the 6th, was incredible throughout the first 15 outs of this game. Oh, here we go. Top of the 7th. For the Rays, it's going to be Adames, Kiermaier, and Zunino. Again, Adames, Kiermaier, and Zunino. The only one with a hit out of those 3 is Kevin Kiermaier. He doubled back in the 2nd. Those 3 combined, Adames, Kiermaier, and Zunino have 6 plate appearances. 5 of them good for strikeouts. So, Adames struck out twice, Kiermaier struck out once back in the 4th, and Zunino struck out a pair of times here in this one. So we'll see if maybe the bottom of the 3rd for this Tampa lineup can get something going. Maybe they can bounce back and even this game up at 2 runs apiece. 2 hours and 30 minutes into Game 6, the Dodgers have just taken their first lead of this one. They're up 2-1 in the most important game so far. If the Dodgers win, they win it all. If the Rays win, a Game 7 is forced, and it's then a best-of-1 series. Who can outplay, outpitch, outhit, outfield the other? The Rays or the Dodgers? We may or may not get to that point. We have 3 innings left, and I'm going to try to stream the entire game. Alright, we've gotten through the first 6 full innings, and I would love to be live for the last out. Whether it's the Dodgers clinching and celebrating, or it's the Rays going ahead and, securing that Game 7 appearance. Just in case. Now, I am a big Major League Baseball hat collector. I do not have every team. I have 22 of the 30 Major League Baseball clubs. I don't have the Tampa Bay Rays. Going into this postseason, predicting Rays-Dodgers, I was rooting for Dodgers. I said it in 7 games. I wouldn't mind winning in 6, though. I also said Corey Seager would be the MVP. I have my Dodgers hat ready to go for the final out if they are indeed winning this ball game. Willy Adames steps in, and Brusdar Graterol is now going to go ahead and pitch for the Dodgers. It looks like they're kind of emptying the tank. Emptying the tank. They're using some of their ball. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We just hit the 2.5 hour mark on stream. I was like, nope, I can't talk anymore. The Dodgers bring in Brusdar Graterol, however you pronounce his last name, and Adames will ground out to first. 3 unassisted, 1 out, but LA is using their better bullpen arms for 1 inning or less. Of course, if someone comes in to get the 3rd out and that's it. But a lot of these bullpen arms will be available tomorrow if necessary. The Dodgers bullpen in World Series games 5 and 6 combined have not allowed a run so far. So here we are. Kevin Kiermaier pokes this one out to left field, and that's going to be good for out number 2. Graterol has thrown 4 pitches, retired 2 outs. So again, a lot of these Dodgers arms are throwing a small number of pitches. If Game 7 is necessary, they can easily come back out like Graterol or Graterol. I see that right there. I got caught up in the pronunciations. I said like a mixture of Graterol and Graterol. Brusdar. We'll go with his first name. Brusdar has thrown 4 pitches right now and 2 outs. Easily, he can come back in tomorrow if the Rays win Game 6 and be dominant and shut out this team. Do I play baseball on a team and what position? So, I've played baseball on a team every year leading up to this season. Of course, just because COVID and a lot of sports being canceled didn't have that opportunity. I could play anywhere, and I have played anywhere and everywhere. When I was on my Babe Ruth team, I was a catcher, but I loved pitching. First base isn't my favorite, but I can play. I like the outfield. I like being able to chase down the fly balls and stuff. Catching's fun. Middle infield's always been, positions I love to play. Anywhere and everywhere. 1-1 count, make it 1-2 as Graterol throws 100 miles per hour up and in. That's the definition of high heat, and Mike Zunino cannot catch up. He will swing and miss. Again, count is 1-2. I've played travel. I think 2 or 3 years ago I stopped travel and just played for my local team. Zunino will lace one into left field. That's his first World Series hit, everyone. In Game 6, I think it might have taken him 15 or 16 at-bats. Let's take a look here. But yeah, it took him quite a while, but he laces his first World Series hit. It's a single off Brusdar Graterol. I think it's Graterol. Off Brusdar Graterol. And now with 2 outs and Zunino on first, the left-handed Ji-Man Choi steps in. And Dave Roberts is coming out to the mound. No, Brusdar's not done. There's no way. I think they're going to leave him in. No, they don't. Okay, I mean, Dodgers are emptying the tank. Every pitcher is coming in throwing a small number of pitches. Julio Urias, another pitcher whose last name I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly. I apologize. I'm gonna go with Urias. But Julio Urias is coming in now to relieve Brusdar, looking for the third and final out of the inning. If Ji-Man Choi gets on, Randy Arozarena comes up for his 4th at-bat of the game. I mean, if there weren't so many pitching changes, especially mid-inning, this game time would probably be cut in like 20 minutes. Like, this game would probably be going so much quicker, and it's already at a very fast pace. And I guess kind of on like the speed of the game topic, we all know Commissioner Rob Manfred, the good old commish, wants to speed up the game. He wants to limit, mound opportunities, mound visits, and changing pitchers and everything. And I don't agree with that. I think let the manager manage his team and do his job. Let pitchers be able to come in the middle of innings because bullpen arms are meant to relieve. They're meant to come in high leverage situations that mean a lot. So don't take away from that opportunity, especially because you want to keep the play time down so that younger fans are like watching more. I think no matter what, no matter the span, how long the game takes from start to end, I don't really think that makes a difference in viewership because people are still going to view these baseball games. They might not watch a full game if it goes 3.5 hours, but they're still tuning into the channel. They're still watching. And also, like, there'll be times where just games take super long, or they are the flip side, and it's like the game goes by 2 hours and 40 minutes. This is a game. This is entertainment. These are people's jobs. Like, there's so much going on, but Rob Manfred trying to limit playing time, limit sort of things in regards to the pitchers and mound visits, I just don't think that's necessary. I don't. I really don't think it's necessary because why? I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm probably not making sense, but I just think that let the pitchers pitch. Let there be as many mound visits and changes as necessary. I don't care. As a fan, a lifelong baseball fan who's been watching since I was young, single digits, throw in more breaks, I'm not complaining because there's commercials and ads now while I'm streaming. I'm talking through it and I'm enjoying. I'm still watching the game fully. Like, this might just be one person, in my opinion, but I don't think there's any need to try to reduce gameplay. Brett Phillips comes in to pinch run for Mike Zunino. Last time we saw him, he was the unsung hero of Game 4. Yandy Diaz comes in to replace Ji-Man Choi. So Kevin Cash says, hey, you're bringing in a lefty for Ji-Man Choi, well, I'm bringing in a righty for Julio. We could play checkers, but how about we play chess? And Diaz hitting 364 in the World Series, down on the count 0-1. Fouls this one back 0-2. Let's see if Julio can get out of the inning. A hit for the catcher. And it only took him 5 games, yeah. Yeah, Mike Zunino struggled a lot to get a hit in the World Series. This October alone, he's hitting 160 with 4 home runs and 8 RBIs. But that's his first hit of the Fall Classic right there. He leads off first with 2 outs. Rays trail by 1. Oh, 2, and Julio checks up on Brett Phillips. You're doing a great job commentating. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The count goes 1-2 now to Yandy Diaz, the new first baseman for Tampa Bay, as he follows the Mike Zunino hit. And of course, he just replaced Ji-Man Choi, who did not have any success at the plate other than a walk back in the second, and called strike 3, a generous call right there from the home plate umpire, but nonetheless, that gets him out of the inning, and Yandy Diaz strikes out looking to end it. We go to the bottom of the 7th, see if the Dodgers can go ahead and add on to this 1-run lead. So bottom of the 7th coming around here now for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, they may only need 6 more outs. They may. Knock on wood. They may just need 6 more outs offensively. Like, they may only need 2 more innings of work to win this game. As the home team, of course, if they're winning in the 9th, they don't have to hit again. So that would put them in the 7th inning, the 8th inning. And by then, if they still have the lead, the 9th rolls around, they get 3 up, 3 down, or something along the lines, and they're World Series champions for the first time since 1988. I'm excited for them. I'm hoping the Dodgers win. And I'm not trying to be biased or, go against the Tampa Bay fans in the stream right now. I'm rooting for LA. I've explained it a little bit already. I would not be disappointed no matter which team wins. Don't get me wrong. I would be super excited for Tampa Bay. First World Series title. But Los Angeles, I want to see them come out on top. I predicted them in 7 games to win the World Series, but if they can do it in 6, go for it, I'd rather my prediction be wrong game-wise than team-wise, but either way it works. I subbed, keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And guys, just as a follow-up to that, thank you to each and every one of you who have joined the team recently. You guys are awesome, killing it with the support. I cannot thank you all enough. I would not be here without each and every one of you. So thank you to everyone who's tuning in right now, who's liked the video, been in the chat to say hello. And, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. So thank you to each and every one of you guys. I do appreciate it. Also, this has been a really fun season. I want to go ahead and throw that out there because this may be the last stream of 2020, which is crazy. Our last play-by-play at least. Just because if the Dodgers do in fact win tonight and win the World Series title, Game 7's not needed. Henceforth, there will be no game, and I will not be live doing a play-by-play, doing more coverage. So I'll go ahead, have regular uploads for you guys, and they're going to be more consistent. I know 2020 was a rough year baseball-wise and everything, but, my content wasn't as consistent as I would have loved, like regular upload-wise. There were some weeks where we got a few videos up a week, and then there were a few weeks where I hardly got any. So I'm going to be consistent. We're going to stick to it. We're going to continue the grind. We're going to push for push for stronger length, or not stronger lengths, but we're going to push for further strides here in the sub count and the viewership and everything. We're going to expand the channel. Come 2021, I have a lot of great things planned and everything. So lots of videos coming out for you guys. I have a long laundry list of video ideas already that I have planned for the winter. So I'm going to keep getting more and more. Again, regular, consistent uploads throughout the off season, and whether that's 1 a week, 2 videos a week, it might range depending on where we are in the calendar, but there will be at least one upload per 7 days. I'm going to try to go ahead and push that even further, just as long as there is, good content that I can put out for you all. Just make good vids, and they are good. Thank you so much. Please stream more. I'm going to. I'm going to probably do, like, Q&As. What I think I'm going to do this year is for some free agent signings, like with the day Trevor Bauer signs and JT Realmuto signs, I may go ahead and just go live that day so that, as a community, we can all kind of discuss what's going on. And Will Smith, a leadoff double in the bottom of the 7th against Peter Fairbanks, who, by the way, did come into this ballgame. I've gone off on a little tangent here, but Peter Fairbanks came in the bottom of the 7th for the Rays, and Will Smith acquires his first hit of the night. It's a leadoff double, and that is huge. Let's tack on some more insurance here for the Dodgers. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to potentially go ahead and stream on the days where big free agents sign, so we can all kind of discuss what happened, if we like if we like the new contract, what we think, if we're disappointed, or what we think is just going to go on in general, if it was a good signing, if it wasn't a good signing. So yeah, like for Bauer, say he signs for like $40 million a year. It's like, okay, he got the money he deserves. He signed with this team. What do you guys think? Here are my thoughts. And that'll be on top of a regular upload, me explaining all the contract details. So we'll probably have some more live streams in the off season than usual. Considering usually I've gone live 0 times over the winter. So stay tuned for that. Also, again, regular uploads, free agency, everything. So expect a lot of content from October to February, and then of course when the new season comes around. What's the best way to grow a channel? So best way to grow a channel, put out content that as a creator you enjoy, because if you like it and if you would watch it, chances are other people would too. If you don't think that you are supportive of your own videos, your own products, then it's going to be hard for you to grow a following. Also, again, I didn't do this much this year, but consistency is key. I did a lot of live streams throughout the season, but not as many regular uploads. And, I think, in previous seasons, when we've had a full 162 games, there's been a lot of news this year. There just wasn't a whole bunch of headlines going around, so content for regular games was a little more difficult to come by. So I did resort to the live stream more, but consistency and putting out good content and really just throwing your all out there and giving it your best each and every video or live stream, whatever you do, that's the way to go. Cody Bellinger gonna lift this. Oh, Cody Bellinger gonna lift this one into left field. The third baseman Joey Wendell back in the shallow left field grass and will make the catch. So Bellinger flies out to third, and Will Smith will have to stay at second. Sad Rays noises. Let's go Dodgers. Woohoo. Thank you so much for streaming. It makes my day. I'm sad I'm feeling down. It makes my day. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. That means a whole lot to me, just because, of course, as a content creator, I try to put stuff out there for people to enjoy and, for people to go ahead and watch, and, whether that's for entertainment or to kind of grow their knowledge on the sport or a specific event. That is why I'm out here doing this kind of stuff, and also just to kind of further my experiences. As this is a field I want to go into in the future. I want to go into broadcasting, and I want to do this full time. So whether it's YouTube or whether it's play-by-plays for a minor league team or a professional team somewhere along the way, that is a goal. Major league would be insane. But wherever the case may be, the future is bright. I'm going to keep working towards it, and yeah, thank you. So I appreciate all the support, guys. The 1-0 count, and Chris Taylor, who's 1 for 2, hits this one a long way, but to the right of the foul pole. So instead of a 2-run home run, he was a little bit late right there, and it will be a foul ball. The count's even 1-1. One runner in scoring position, 1 out. It's a 1-run ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. The count is even to Chris Taylor, who singled back in the 6th. He was the first run to score for the Dodgers, the second hit of the game for the LA lineup. That sparked a little rally. Of course, once... no. Barnes scored back in the 6th, not Chris Taylor. I'm looking at the wrong person here. Chris Taylor had the first hit of the game. That was a single in the 3rd. Then Barnes had the single and scored in the 6th. Sparked a rally. Betts scored as well. That is where the 2 runs have been for the Dodgers. And then Taylor now on what looked to be a front door slider will wave and miss. At 88 miles per hour, the count goes back to even at 2 apiece. And Fairbanks gave up the leadoff double, but wants to go ahead and close out this inning without allowing a run. Bottom of the 7th, Fairbanks steps off, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up Peter's numbers really quick for the Tampa Bay Rays, both this postseason and in the regular season. So Pete, a 3.27 ERA in 8 games, with 3 saves in 11 innings and 15 strikeouts here in October baseball. In 2020, he was 6-3 with no saves, a 2.7 ERA, 39 strikeouts, 26 2/3 innings, and a 1.39 WHIP. Now Taylor will ground out to the right side of the infield. There are 2 away. And Joc Pederson is pinch hitting for A.J. Pollock. Pete Fairbanks still in. He's reached the 3-batter minimum, so if Cash wants to go to a lefty, he can, and I think they will. Both teams playing the matchups, trying to get their team the upper hand in every at-bat, every scenario possible. We go to another commercial break. And going on almost 3 hours of gameplay here. It's been fun. Still a lot of baseball left. And here we are. So Joc Pederson comes in for A.J. Pollock. A.J. started out in left field defensively. He lined out to third in the 3rd inning and popped up to the second baseman in the 6th. So did not have much success at the plate, but now that's why Pederson is going ahead and pinch hitting. Actually, that was just a mound visit, so Pete Fairbanks is still in this ballgame. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Pederson with a runner on second and 2 outs. Who's my favorite Dodgers player? My favorite Dodgers. So, that's tough because I've really liked Justin Turner over the years. I've been a big fan of his. Following on the social medias and stuff, and I like watching his journey and how he plays the game. I think he's definitely a Dodger that I look up to, and I respect his gameplay, and, just I think he's a great person on and off the field. He has great numbers, and he's good on both sides of the ball, very well-rounded, just everything about him. Justin Turner, I think, is probably one of my favorites. Of course, gotta love Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts. Corey Seager has been great, obviously, as well. He shows that Seager is one of the best shortstops in the league when healthy. I'd say a top 5 shortstop when healthy. He's definitely up there with Francisco Lindor and with Trevor Story. I'd say top 5 shortstop. Might even be top 3. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, career-wise, season-wise, so I don't want to go ahead and make statements here without going ahead and being able to back it up. But I'd say Seager is definitely a top shortstop. But yeah, just great team overall. Also, A.J. Pollock, I've met at a Diamondbacks game, so that's really cool. I met A.J. Pollock, I have his autograph, I have a picture with him. So I'm rooting for him and his success. Follow him on all the social medias as well. Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, all that. Hello to everyone in the chat, everyone in the stream. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Bottom of the 7th, Joc Pederson just got intentionally walked. So that puts runners at first and second now for Austin Barnes. Interesting decision. I get that Cash maybe didn't want Fairbanks, or the pitching coach didn't want Fairbanks to face Jock Peterson in a righty-lefty matchup. But now Fairbanks is pitching to Austin Barnes, who sparked the rally last inning and got the single and first run scored of the game for the Dodgers. So, interesting move here. Austin's 1 for 2. I guess they're kind of hoping that the righty-righty matchup will suffice better than Jock Peterson in for the Dodgers. And of course, I'm thinking as a Rays personnel right here, they want to see a right-handed pitcher as a right-handed batter. Prove them wrong, Barnes. Let's get something going here. 99 mile per hour fastball misses outside. The count's even 1-1. Smith at second, Peterson at first. All right, we have a prediction here. An Austin Barnes hit, or a single rather, that gets in 1 or 2 runs. Okay, I would love to see some insurance added to the board. Let's get Barnes something. Maybe a double off the left field wall. Easily scores 1, second and third for Mookie Betts. That's what I like right here. It is a 1-1 count. Let's see Austin airmail one out to the left center. Get it to bounce right off the wall for a 2-bagger. And an RBI knock. Fairbanks delivers in a count even at 1 apiece. And it's a breaking ball above the belt. The home plate umpire thinks it's strike 2, so he deems it in favor of Pete. Barnes looks back like, hey, that's a strike. Like, you sure? Yeah, that was well above the belt. Perez, who came in to catch now and take over behind the plate for Zunino as Brett Phillips pinch ran for Mike, did a good job framing that pitch and bringing it back down to the zone for strike 2. And a breaking ball just below the knees. Very risky take, but very smart take from Austin Barnes. He knew that was low. He let it go, and the umpire gave him the call. It was the right call. He didn't give him anything, but he made the right call there. 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 on. Dodgers have 2 runs on the day. Here in Game 6, again, I like the double off the wall and a fastball up, foul, back, count remains 2-2. So I'm really rooting for an Austin Barnes extra base hit right here. Will Smith on second, Jock Peterson at first, Austin Barnes at the plate in a count even at 2, and another foul ball, same spot, belt high, spoiled back yet again. Fairbanks has thrown 20 pitches here, as we've been live for 3 hours, which is awesome. We're going to go ahead and try to stream the entire game. We still have a little bit over 2 innings left. Assuming we go the full 9 and have the Dodgers come up to hit in the bottom half of the final frame in the 9th. But, of course, if they're winning, they don't have to hit, and game ends earlier, obviously. And Austin sends this one to right center field, shallow. In the grass is second baseman Brandon Lowe, and he will make the catch. So that will end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, 2 men left on base. None of the predictions thrown out there were correct, nor mine, nor the one in the chat, which is unfortunate. But we head to the top of the 8th. The Dodgers still have a slight 2-1 lead. And we will see how the rest of this game plays out. Tampa Bay is running out of time here. 6 outs remaining offensively. They need to get something going. A bloop and a blast, or a few bloops, like, a single and a home run, a few singles, or a few extra base hits of some sort. They got to get back into this here. Honestly, I would not mind if the score stayed 2-1. But also, just a final score of one that we're at right now, where the Dodgers win this game by 1 run, and only 3 total runs are plated, is insane. Like, that just summarizes how good these two teams are. Very close. It's anyone's game to the last minute. This has been a really fun series. No matter what the result is in Game 6, if the season ends tonight and the Dodgers win the World Series, great. That's awesome, right? But if we go to a Game 7 and the Rays win the World Series tomorrow, or the Dodgers win the World Series tomorrow, either way, this is just all super exciting and a great set. Like, I think as baseball fans, we could not have asked for a better run at this. For some of us in the chat right now and in the stream, these might not necessarily be our favorite teams, but it's been a great series. Dodgers win 1, Rays win 1. Dodgers win 1, Rays win 1. Dodgers win 1, they're 1 win away, and now, they're just a few outs away. 6-7 games World Series are a ton of fun because there's a lot of action. It's back and forth, and baseball is just truly an amazing sport. It really is. So I'm excited. It's going to be bittersweet, whether tomorrow night or tonight. Within the next 25 hours or so, if we have a Game 7, baseball will be over for the year, which is upsetting. It's sad, especially because I'm someone who baseball is a lot for me. It's like, obviously with YouTube and everything, but YouTube plays a big part in my life. Baseball plays a big part in my life. So not having baseball, I know this goes for a lot of people, is going to be tough the next few months. This winter, it's just, it's going to be different without baseball. Especially with the shortened season. We didn't get as much as we're used to, so I feel like we're going to need that fixed, but it's okay. It's all good. The season was a lot of fun. My team, the New York Yankees, might not have gone far. Or they might not have made it as far as I would have liked. But overall, not too many complaints, Not too many complaints whatsoever. Rays Dodgers World Series has been phenomenal. Very excited. It's been a lot of fun. We've covered 5 of 6 games live, which is amazing, with the exception of Game 2. And you guys have killed it with the support all throughout. And just throughout this season, throughout the year, over the course of my time on YouTube, you guys have just been amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for your continued efforts and support of myself and the channel. Urias, however you want to pronounce his last name, comes back in the top of the 8th, and he's going to retire Randy Rosarena with the line out to center. Cody Bellinger makes the play. He's like, yeah, we got this, right? But also, 5 outs away. The magic number is 5 for LA. They're getting very close. They are getting very close. Hunter Renfroe pinch hitting, and he's going to send this one over to third base. Justin Turner no longer over at the hot corner. He's been replaced with, I believe, let me see here. Just want to make sure I'm not incorrect in saying this. But Justin Turner no longer at third, as there was a substitution. I think that's Edwin Rios. And it looks like Edwin Rios over there. So he's going to make the play. A 5-3 ground out. The magic number is 4 outs for the Dodgers. Now Brandon Lowe steps in. He's 3 for 23 in the World Series. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, a ground out to the pitcher, and then a ground out in the 6th. To me, I don't care who wins. Yeah, I mean, of course, if the Yankees were in it, this would be an incredibly different series. And for me, of course, as a big Yankees fan, I'm kind of in that same boat. I don't necessarily care who wins because both are equally deserving, and neither have either won a World Series in a long time or won a World Series at all. Los Angeles has not won a title since '88. Tampa Bay was established in '98 and has never won a World Series. This is only their second World Series appearance. The Rays were the best team in the AL. Dodgers were the best team in the NL. You know, both of these teams from top to bottom have great lineups, great bullpens, great starting pitching staff. Equally deserving in my eyes. It's a lot of fun to watch this play out. This has been a great World Series. And no matter what happens, no matter who wins, I'll be excited for both of them. Or either of them. I am rooting for LA just because they've been close for so many years. 3 pennants in 4 seasons. 2017 they lost to the Astros who cheated. 2018 they lost to the Red Sox. They didn't make it to 2019. They lost to the Nationals who won the World Series last year. And now here they are again. So, it's going to be fun. You know, no matter who wins, I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I said it since day one, previously to the postseason. And Brandon Lowe strikes out. Julio Urias, again, however you want to pronounce it, gets the out. 3 up, 3 down. The Dodgers are 3 outs away from winning the World Series. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean, my postseason predictions video, or my World Series predictions video and stuff, I said Dodgers in 7. Corey Seager would be Series MVP. We will see if LA wins tonight or tomorrow, if they win it all, who wins that most valuable player title. I think it's going to be Seager. If it goes to an offensive guy, it's got to go to Corey Seager, in my opinion, which is great. You know, he's so deserving of it. He's shown that when he's healthy, he's just a top shortstop and won the NLCS MVP, might double down and win it in the World Series. Also, hey, you can tell it's getting late because starting to kind of lose the language a little bit here and there. But trust me, we are getting to the full 9 innings of this game to see who wins Game 6. And if a Game 7 happens tomorrow, I'm going the full length tomorrow from the first pitch to the last pitch of the game. Randy Arozarena is a different breed. I mean, heck yeah. Randy Arozarena set so many records, just is incredibly good. 10 home runs, 14 RBIs in this postseason. He shattered multiple records as a single player in a single October. His average came into this game at 370. And not even with a small sample size. 73 October at-bats. And he was hitting 370 with 9 home runs, 13 ribbies, a 1.247 on-base slugging. Incredible all throughout. And the Rays picked him up from the Cardinals via a trade when Randy had very limited playing time. What a great idea that was, because look at how far he's made it and look how crucial of a role he's played for this Tampa Bay team. Alright guys, we're making it to the last few outs. Thank you to everyone who is in the stream. Thank you who's joined at one point or another. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the new support, the new subscribers that we've gained over the course of the World Series, the course of the year, and the course of just me being here on YouTube. This has honestly been such an amazing journey. This is an accomplishment I am thankful for each and every day. YouTube means so much to me, and the fact that we've been able to hit this 1,000 subs landmark is incredible. And to me, I'm still surprised. You know, I'm still taken back sometimes. It's like, wow, you know, that's insane. And I appreciate it. A lot's gone into the channel on my half. And then I've had, you know, just great people along the way in subscribers and in other content creators who have collabed with or I've known and just communicated with, and just it's been a whole lot of fun. This is a great community, and I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the future. YouTube is something I plan on doing for quite a long time, and just this is awesome. So I probably repeated myself like 12 times throughout this stream, and I apologize if that's the case, but I know that you guys deserve all the recognition for this. This is just, I would not and could not be here without you guys. So I emphasize this point, and I beat it so many times into each and every stream to thank you, because it really does mean a lot. Thanks for everything. You're a great content creator. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a whole lot. That puts a smile on my face, That's great. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're in the bottom of the 8th, and Mookie Betts sends one to left center field. It is gone. A solo home run for Mookie Betts. Add some insurance to the scoreboard, why don't you? I'm sorry if I'm screaming, but I'm excited. Let's go. Now's the time. Let's throw the hat on here. Let's throw the Dodgers LA hat. Mookie Betts hits one 434 feet into the stands, 107 miles per hour off the bat. Let's go. The Dodgers are up 3-1. And did that just seal their World Series victory? Maybe. Maybe. Now it's Corey Seager's turn. He's hitless in Game 6. But can go ahead and get into the hit column tonight with his at-bat here in the bottom of the 8th. That is a huge solo home run from Mookie. I would think that the Dodgers go to Blake Treinen as their closer and not Kenley Jansen, especially in only a 2-run lead. We know what Kenley's done in a 2-run lead here in World Series games. Game 4. And rough game. I get it. But maybe Dodgers can go ahead here and secure the win. I think Treinen would be the safe pick unless Julio Urias comes back out for another inning of work, and Corey Seager fouls this one back. It's 1-2. So Mookie Betts comes in clutch with a huge insurance knock right there. Cody Bellinger is smiling. I think he knows what's coming. We all know what's coming. The Dodgers are getting ready to win their first World Series since 1988. Their first title since 1988. Just incredible. Incredible. 2-2 count to the number 2 hitter, Corey Seager. Fairbanks still out there on the mound. He gave up that solo shot to Mookie Betts. And he had a big inning in the 7th. Kind of surprised they kept him in. Like, he did well. He got outs in the 7th. He didn't allow anyone to score. But his pitch count now is at 29. The count goes full to Corey Seager. I don't know. The Rays have a really good bullpen, so I'm kind of surprised he's still out there. But they trust him. They relied on him. And, it is what it is. But this one is going to miss upstairs. Corey Seager works a no-out walk, following up the solo home run from Mookie Betts. And this is exciting stuff, guys. Exciting stuff right here. The Dodgers are so close to winning the 2020 World Series. So Seager stands on first. after the no-out walk. And here we are. Fox is fanning over to a bunch of different Dodgers players and personnel. Kike Hernandez comes in, I believe, to pinch hit. He's batting .222 in the World Series. He's going to lay down a bunt, shows bunt, and pulls back, but it's called strike one anyway. This is fun stuff. We're getting close, guys. 3 hours and I'd say 15 minutes into the game. Bottom of the 8th, nobody out. The Dodgers still potentially putting on more runs. And Enrique pops this one up, foul and out of play. Oh-2 count now to Kike Hernandez. Max Muncy is up next. He will be due up for the Dodgers. As again, they look to further their insurance. A 2-run lead puts the game at 3-1. And the count is now 1-2 to Enrique Hernandez. All right. Here we go, guys. Got the Dodgers hat on. I would be wearing a Rays hat, or I would have worn a Rays hat at some point or another, except I don't have one. And Hernandez swings and misses as he offers at a fastball north of the zone. That's Fairbanks' second strikeout of the game. One away, and Cash is coming out. I think that's Cash. Yeah, Kevin Cash is coming out to the mound to either make a pitching change or just kind of see if Fairbanks is doing all right. But I would assume that's the end of Pete's night here. And we go to commercial break. So, yeah, I would go ahead and wear a Rays hat. I don't have one. I collect Major League Baseball hats. I have 22 of 30 teams. One of the 8 that I'm missing is the Rays. So, probably go ahead and pick up one of those soon. But I really enjoy my different hats. I don't necessarily have a favorite. But we have the Yankees, Astros, Orioles, Royals, Reds, Diamondbacks, Angels, Dodgers, Padres, Pirates, Red Sox, as well as the Mariners, Mets, Blue Jays, Marlins, Cubs, Phillies, White Sox, Athletics, Rockies, Indians, and Brewers. So those are the 22 teams I have, and looking to find those final 8, add them to the collection here. I have a few autographed hats that I've got from in-person player meetings. Nice hat and a fillet, but don't want to sub it yet. You know, I'm a little nervous that I'm jinxing it with the hat on, but I'm going to go for it. I think we're good to go. I think we're good. I have a feeling that the Dodgers are going to be able to go ahead and win this one. 3 outs left. They have a 2-run cushion, maybe more. All right. So to each and every one of you in the stream right now, you will be watching the end of the World Series most likely with me, which is a whole lot of fun. We'll have live reactions too. We'll be able to celebrate or be upset if you're a Rays fan together. Mookie the GOAT, yes, of course. What a steal by the Dodgers. That cannot be emphasized enough. The fact that they got Mookie Betts and David Price essentially just at the price of Alex Verdugo, I mean, who's not going to do that? That's a crazy good deal for LA. And I think Mookie Betts was the missing piece for the Dodgers. That's what they needed. They needed a little push to get them over the 2017-2018 hill when they lost to those 2 World Series in back-to-back years. Mookie Betts is their guy. They signed him to a huge contract extension after trading for him with the Red Sox this winter. Huge stuff. And Betts, who with some people thought was going to be a forever Red Sox, comes over out to the West Coast, does really well with the Dodgers, at least in the postseason, and that's it. So that's actually Mookie's second home run of October baseball. His second of the World Series, and his 8th RBI. In steps Ryan Yarbrough now. Looks to go ahead and get these last 2 outs, and then hand it over to the lineup to see if the Rays can score 2 runs in the top of the 9th. Max Muncy is up, and will take a pitch up and away for ball 1. Ryan Yarbrough, let's look at the stats. He's 6'5", 205 pounds, and a 28-year-old left-handed reliever. He's pitched in 4 postseason games, posting a 3.86 ERA, 1 win, no losses, no saves, and 2 starts. He's gone a total of 14 innings, striking out 7 batters, and acquiring a whip of 1.43. Max Muncy could have just rolled into a big inning-ending double play, and he does. The end of the 8th is over. I will be right back for commercial break. Stay with me. We go to the top of the 9th. Alright, guys, we are back, heading to the top of the 9th inning, where the Dodgers may win their first title since 1988. Huge stuff. The World Series is just 3 outs away from being over, and we are getting close to naming the Los Angeles Dodgers as the best team in baseball this year. Exciting, exciting, exciting stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. 3 outs away. And I would assume LA goes to a closer here. I'm thinking maybe Blake Treinen. I like Blake Treinen for this situation. I don't know if I'd go to Kenley. I really just don't think I trust him at this point with the save. Don't mean anything, bad towards Kenley Jansen, but I think Blake Treinen is the way to go. So we have the 9th inning underway here in LA. Rather, LA is the home team. And this is going to be exciting stuff, guys. The first pitch of the top of the ninth is a called strike to Manny Margot. Julio Urias is in. Urias. And I currently have another camera set up for my live reaction for a video coming out on the channel. Assuming the Dodgers do go ahead and close this game out. So if you see me reaching towards behind the camera here that you guys are watching the stream on, that is indeed why. The 1-1 count to Manny Margot. Urias is still in this game here. So they don't change pitchers. They don't take him out. They don't bring in Trinan. They don't bring in Jansen. They have their man right now. And they feel good. This is exciting stuff. Got the LA cap on. We're ready to go. 3 outs away. Dodgers fans in the chat right now, Dodgers fans in the stream, just 3 outs away from ending the 32, 33-year drought. And Margot flies this one to right field. Mookie Betts camps under it. There is 1 away. Dodgers are just 2 outs away from winning the 2020 World Series now. Mike Brosseau is coming in as a pinch hitter. Of course, Kevin Cash pulling his Kevin Cash moments. This is what he does best. He puts his team in the opportunity to win games and to win small moments. Win the pitch, win the at-bat, win the inning. He's bringing in these pinch hitters. He's using the final bit of bench bats that he has left because it's down to the wire. The Rays want to extend their season to just 1 more game, but that 1 game can be the difference in a title and 2nd place. So Brosseau comes in hitting .400 in the World Series. He takes one high and wide for ball 1. This is huge. Again, Kevin Cash, very good at playing the matchups. That's not a surprise. That's what he's good at. He's a good manager. He should be manager of the year, at least in the running for it, because of what he can do with his team. They're panning over to Blake Snell now. Brett Phillips, Austin Meadows in the dugout. At least it looked like Austin Meadows. I believe it was. They're panning over to him now in the dugout. Tampa Bay players are upset. They realize that their season is just 2 outs away from coming to an end. They made it so close. And this is always what pains me as just a baseball fan. I love the sport. I love the game. I love the Yankees, yes. But as a fan who just wants the well-being for teams and players and everything, it always hurts watching this one team celebrate like crazy and then the other team just in tears as they're packing up the dugout and the bullpen. But I'm all for the Dodgers. The Dodgers celebrating, the Rays celebrating. I love it. I cannot wait for that point. Just the Rays, it's going to be upsetting for them. And 3.5 hours on stream. The count is 2-2 to Mike Brosseau. Breaking ball downstairs. Count goes full. If Brosseau gets on base, that means the tying run will come up to the plate for Tampa. Now, I cannot see if the Dodgers have anyone warming up in the bullpen or not. But Julio's throwing 23 pitches and will strike out. Mike Brosseau looking. Oh my goodness, guys. 1 out away. Pedro Baez is shaking the number 1 in the air. Here we go. LA is about to have their first title since 1988. We got 2 outs here in the top of the 9th for Willy Adames, who has struggled throughout October and throughout the World Series. He will wave and miss at strike 1, high heat, 95 miles per hour from Urias. You can see the anticipation of the Dodgers players just waiting to jump over the rail, run out to the mound, and celebrate their first World Series title since 1988. Fastball up and in, called strike 2. It is now down not just to the final out, but to the final pitch. The Dodgers are about to be the 2020 World Series champions. Willy Adames 0 for 3 on the night. If he gets on base, the tying run would come up. The 0-2. Got him looking! The Dodgers are your 2020 World Series champions! There we go! There's a huge huddle in the infield grass. LA has won their first World Series championship title since 1988 by a final score of 3-1. They defeat the Tampa Bay Rays in the series 4-2. And the Rays, you gotta feel bad for them. This is their second World Series appearance, their second World Series loss in franchise history. However, Los Angeles finally won the Fall Classic. They had 3 pennants in 4 years, 2017, 2018, and 2020. This was their season. There we go, guys. The Dodgers are your World Series champs. It was a great set. The Dodgers played a great season. They had a phenomenal postseason run, and you can say the exact same thing about the Tampa Bay Rays. 2 great teams facing off. This was just a really fun World Series to watch. Back and forth, competitive baseball. 2 of the best teams in the league. There you go. The Dodgers are your World Series champions. So, guys, on the stream right now, that'll do it. The final score, 3-1. Dodgers beat the Rays. It was such a great game. Such a great game. And honestly, I'm speechless. The World Series this year was awesome. World Series baseball is now over. The 2020 season has also come to an end. Clayton Kershaw has a ring. Mookie Betts has a ring. Cody Bellinger. This Dodgers team is so good. I'm so excited for them. The Rays, tough loss. It's tough. It's tough. But at the end of the day, we see the Dodgers finally win this World Classic. Thank you all so much for watching the stream. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe to join the team. The Dodgers have just won the 2020 World Series by a final score of 3-1. The series ended 4-2 in LA's favor. That will do it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. What an incredible 2020 season this was. A lot of changes, yes. It was a different year than what we're used to when it comes to Major League Baseball. But at the end of the day, we had a season, we have a World Series champion, and we're looking forward to 2021. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all next time. Peace.